I started notes and then I was like,
All right, man, we back at it. We on episode, what is this, episode 3?
Episode 2. This 2, second episode.
Oh, this episode 2. You know why? Why I got it in my mind? In my mind, we in episode 3. Like everything I got is
I'm about to say,
3.
like, one man got what you get, a screener?
I got
he got an email. Hey man, I'm on the 3rd episode.
Yeah, my screenplay I done sent out say this is episode 3 of the thing.
Yeah,
like
feel you.
I'm in the 3rd episode mentally. This really is.
Yeah,
really
we right. We already in the 3rd episode, but we gonna recap the second episode.
We got to drop. Oh, I'm talking about us.
Oh no, we
in episode 3. We watching episode 2, but we in episode 3.
Blooper, yeah. Nighttown episode 3, right? We are in episode 3.
Yeah,
we on episode 2 of the Moon God. My bad, man.
Episode 2. I'm on a couple. I think I'm on a couple. I'm on episode 2 of the Moon God.
Yeah,
I just found out because I'm gonna stick it through. Halo's on episode 3. They drop on Thursdays. I'm gonna ride it out because it's only like 6, 7. So ain't nothing. So they on episode 3.
I'm caught up.
It's a rough watch.
It's a rough watch, especially if you know anything about the games.
Like
literally, you played the games once. It's tough.
It's a tough watch.
Tough watch. I don't know who the show is for. We'll get that Halo.
Yeah, I ain't never played it, but it's a rough watch. But we about to
play
into this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking about that is getting the. I've been setting it up where I don't know if I'm gonna get. I think I'm gonna get an Xbox, or I don't know if I go Xbox. It's probably safer for me to go to PC route.
You know, yeah, exactly. You know what's crazy? You don't even need, bro. You could just get a Game Pass and just play on your browser.
I watched the thing on it. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you.
No, go ahead. No, you good.
Like I said, I watched the thing on the because you know the Sony. I remember you brought that up to me. The Sony thing is they got their it's not called Game Pass. What it's called? Sony
PlayStation Plus.
The PlayStation Plus, right? So then it was like they were doing. Obviously, you come out with something. It's always a comparison to what somebody else got, right? And kind of the gold standard for real. It seems to be Game Pass, right? And then they already stepped up Game Pass to the point where it ain't even a console necessary. That's what it seemed. Unless I'm missing something, right? Like you don't really need a console to have Game Pass, I believe.
They done pretty much made it like that. Yeah, you don't even. It's browser based now. You know, they got the cloud. They got cloud gaming on Xbox. You just fire up the browser. All the games, you stream all the games. It's crispy too, especially on the MacBook. It's crispy.
Yeah, I might do that, but. As I digress, we get back to what we need to be getting to.
Let's get this started.
This Moon Knight. We in episode 2. It was called Summon the Suit, which is a dope fucking title, by the way.
Yeah,
Summon the Suit is a dope title.
Summon the Suit.
I'm gonna give them that one.
It's kind of like it kind of reminds you of Tony and Infinity War when he was like, "Come on, get the green guy. Come on, buddy, I was waiting on you." You know.
They kind of did that in Avengers too, the first one, when they was about to fight, like a tough guy in a suit of armor. Then they was like, go get the suit.
Go get the suit.
next thing you know, the helicarrier blew up, and he was like, "Yeah, go get the suit."
You get the suit. Like, all right,
go get the suit.
Yeah. Great scene, man. Classic shit.
Yeah, but I don't know about you. Again, this was one. It was a really good episode. Obviously, it's not episode 1, meaning from like the things that happened that might shock you at the end.
Some pacing. I felt like it had some pacing issues. I got some gripes with it, but we'll get into it.
It was like more of a setup. It seemed like that was more of a setup episode, setting up like stories and different things in between, as opposed to like episode 1 was like it was bananas and it was just at you.
Yeah.
Right. It was at you the whole time. Right.
Yeah. This was. Yeah. You're right. They took a lot. They took time to set things up. It was a lot of talking dialogue in this episode. A lot of characters talking.
What's that term? Exposition.
Exposition. Oh, yeah. It was an exposition.
A lot of that. Dump. It was like they introduced, and it sounded like being negative. I mean, I like the episode, but like you say, they bring some characters got brought in to tell you what was going on. Right. Yeah. They were explaining it to you as opposed to probably being like,
this is why this is here. And
now we know why, we got mom and you explain mom for us. Right.
Exactly.
Those kind of things. Right. But
you talking again? You know, it's like, especially the Layla boy. Whew,
yeah,
she was
she was
just
all
spouting
exposition.
exposition. Boy,
She was
this is
there
the
for
thing
that.
that we were looking for, and it's like, but yeah, I got some pros and cons. You know, I got some issues with the episode, but overall, it started off. How did it start off, man?
Oh yeah, you know, we start. You know, they float over that sand. You don't know where yet, but ultimately,
yeah,
we get back to Steve frantically waking up.
friendly
But it
waking
looked
up. We
like,
can hear
but
the.
but to me, it looked like he was believing. He actually believed that stuff happened. Like you could tell, it seemed like before in his life or
Yeah,
before in the
he was
recent
shook.
events, he was like always, and he thought everything was a dream. He
Mm-hmm.
believed. It's to me, it seemed like he believed. Like, okay, no, what
Yeah,
happened at
this
the
happened.
museum really happened.
It's
That happened.
happening. I need to go deal with it. I need to go to work, go to his job, the museum, and find out exactly what happened. Like he was willing to just like share that with people. Like, no, look at the cameras. You know, he rushes.
Because
He
even went
jumps
to
out of bed. Right.
before you even go to that, he went to the mirror. He
He's
went to the
looking in the
mirror
mirror.
instantly, like
Yeah,
he looking for. It looked
he
like he
looking
was
for
looking
Mark.
for Mark. Like, what did he
Like,
say?
you
Are
in
you
there?
there?
You know?
Yeah. Also, some line like that, but like now he like he know this going on. Like it's not
Yeah.
it's definitely not a
He
dream for
realized
him
that I
anymore.
got another personality in it, and he
Yeah,
doing things while I'm sleeping.
yeah, he
Pauses.
convinced.
He doing, you know what I mean? He making moves at night. You know what I
Nah,
mean?
he convinced.
Yeah. So
Yeah, he convinced.
yeah.
Yeah. So then after that, though, now he cutting to the museum. He
Yep.
walking in. He see the security guard dude. What's his name? JB. Security
Goofy
guard
ass
dude.
security
Yeah,
guard.
he
Yeah.
goofy. Yeah, he goofy.
Goofy as hell.
He yellow taping off.
Yeah.
Right. He yellow taping off.
Yeah.
Now Steve, he really got confirmation. Like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. It went
You know,
down. Yeah.
yeah. So he started asking, like, anybody look at the footage?
Mm-hmm.
They go look at the footage, right?
Right. And as the viewer, you sitting back like, oh shit, okay, here we
Because
go.
we synced what happened.
We see what happened. Yeah.
You know,
We saw the jackal come out and chase him around and was chasing him around the room and jumping on statues and breaking glass and just running amok, right?
And we remember, and we talked about the last episode. One of my thoughts at the end was like, we kind of just as we were talking, it was like, well, maybe this didn't even happen. It could be a whole thing that was actually still just in his head. That's
a
so
lot of hints that it wasn't happening.
Yeah, so I'm still not convinced. Even me personally, as the viewer, I'm still not convinced that although Steve looked like to him he thought it happened, not to me, right? Not to me. I don't really think this happened. And then, like, once we get to the footage,
we start seeing the footage, and we see who's in the footage. Who's in the footage? Steve is just chasing himself around. Steve's just, Steve, he's like a mime, you know what I mean? He's like running around, and so security guard looking at him like,
yeah,
you fired, right?
What do you call him, like a donut or something? He hit him with a British roll.
He dropped so many lines on him, bro. He was like, just regular. Steve is like, because Steve was confident. Like Steve was like,
oh, Steve knew.
No, you about to see it. No, look, watch this part right here. Steve giving him timestamps. Like, no, fast forward to a minute 36. Dude looking at him like,
what am I looking at?
What am I looking at? So we see the video. There's nobody else in the video except for Steve. We don't see any jackal. We see some things moving around, right? But it was mostly
I was trying to look. It don't even look like it looked like the stuff he was moving.
It looked like Steve was moving stuff around. It looked like Steve is having an episode, right?
Yeah, he
freaking out, man. He like knocking stuff over.
That's what it looked like. Yeah,
that's what it looked like. It looks like he's running around. He's knocking things over, and then he stops and looks up into the camera, and what does he say when he looks into the camera? He's like,
"It's not me."
He's like, it's only because the security guard's like, it's only you, Steve. And he's like, that's not me.
Oh, that's not me.
This was a dope moment, if I can just say, you know what I mean? I was like, well, okay. I like that look he gave himself. Like because he knew, he was like, you about to get fired.
Yeah, Mark knew what the deal was.
Mark knew exactly what he's doing. Like, hey, bro, when you watch this tomorrow, it's over for you. So Mark looks directly into the camera, walks off. Now he's off camera. And at this point, security guard is just convinced that Steve pretty much broke into the museum and basically vandalized a bunch of stuff.
Because it's like really the only for real messed up part, because he used that British term for bathroom, right? The loo or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Something like that. The loo, right?
Yeah, he tore the Louvre up.
Yeah, they tore that joint up. But we seen that, right? But yeah,
we
but
saw
he
what
pointed
happened,
that out, like,
right.
You did that.
You
did that.
Yeah.
Right. So then next thing you know, we fast forward. Fast forward, next scene.
Yeah.
We got now one of our things we was wondering from last episode. We find out that London does have indeed an HR department. Because we was wondering that.
But the guy from HR, has a security guard uniform. Like he has a uniform on.
I didn't even catch that.
Damn. You know what I mean? Like what type of HR is this?
So it still might not have been a real HR.
He had a uniform on.
He had a uniform.
When does HR usually is business casual, khakis,
you
dress
could be
shirt,
in
blouse.
any job, no matter whatever the dress code is, it don't apply to HR.
It don't apply to HR. HR come in, you see a woman at HR, she got on heels, a dress, a blouse. You see a guy in HR, he got on a dress shirt, some chinos, dress shoes.
Yeah, he clean.
He might have on a tie. But usually they be like laid back. You know what I mean? They be business casual, but they be super casual with it too. This dude had on a uniform, which confused me.
Yeah,
but
sweater with the tie tucked up.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to look at it again. But yeah, it seemed like he had on a uniform. So he's in there and he's not yelling at Steve. He's like,
yeah, he the calmest HR dude ever.
He the calmest HR dude ever, and he's giving them pamphlets like, "Hey man, I got I know this place. Some good doctors there. Some good doctors."
Some people pointed out that pamphlet. It looked like it got like a crescent on it. Like they got a bookmark.
Yeah, I saw the breakdown. Yeah,
it was bookmarked. Like, might as well need to pay attention to dudes.
Yeah, and he was just
he even said they weren't going to press charges. Yeah, they weren't going to press no charges.
We just want to know if you got you got anything on your you got any museum property. You got any take anything? He's like, no. He pulls out the phone. And he's like, oh no. I'm thinking he gonna pull out the scarab for some reason. I don't know why.
That's what it seemed like.
It seemed like, and I feel like again, like now that you say that, it's almost like the HR dude was like, yeah, you got the scarab? No, you don't got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's fired. He's basically he gets let go, right? So that's basically what the HR dude was telling him, like, hey, shit happens. Turn it. And he looks at the name tag and he's like, yeah, you gotta turn in the name tag too. And I felt it seemed like right. Like they paused on the scene. It seemed like they made this was a moment where it was almost like maybe I might be again, but it's like it's like his identity, right? It's like, no, but I'm Steve. I don't want to give. It's like giving a piece of Steve to the HR guy.
That's probably like the only place for real that he is Steve.
That's like the only place.
That's a good point you make. That's like probably the only place
where people recognize
anybody
him as Steve,
that know, like that's Steve. Yeah. They might call him Scotty. They might call him whatever, but that's Steve, right? Like he's Steve there. Nowhere else in his life.
Steve? No, because now that you say that, nobody. Yeah, because he calls him Scotty. I think
we going deep later because we got a couple things about that.
Right. We'll get into that, but he's like, yeah, he's like, just give me the. He's like, yeah, you got to give me that, and that's like symbolizing something. I think. And he's like, all right, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So he leaves.
He lead that. He runs into his man's Crawley. Right.
He talking to Crawley again, and this time I feel like Crawley was. I was certain Crawley was about to speak, right? Because Crawley looked like he wanted. Because last time, like you said, you thought he was a statue for real. He was really like in character, right? Like he was really a statue. Like he was not moving. He was not looking at all. He was like this time when they zoom in on Crawley, it's like he wants to say something. You can almost see his eyes move. He's like, so he's telling them like, because he responds to Crawley almost like he can hear Crawley speaking, and he's like,
it was like they was having it was like a two-way conversation.
Yeah, like I wonder if in his mind are they having a conversation. So he's like, okay, yeah, I need to go home and figure this out, right? And he's like, Crawley, like,
that's real.
You almost, I'm watching it. I'm thinking like Crawley's about to be like, yeah, go home, man.
Yeah.
Crawley keeps looking. Steve's like, all right, I'm going home. I got to figure this out. So he goes back to the apartment. And he's in the apartment, and
nah, he didn't go to the apartment.
No, where did he go? No, he went to the storage facility. Yeah,
because it seemed like he thought Crawley gave him that good idea. Like, he's like, oh yeah, that make good. I need to go to the like. I wonder if now that you say that, I wonder if in his mind is Crawley actually talking.
That's what I'm saying.
You get what I'm saying? Like, is Crawley actually moving his mouth and his
Crawley
mind?
another not that Crawley's another personality, but these ideas and this information he's getting from Crawley seems like maybe that's just all in his head. He's answering his own questions, but he's talking to Crawley. He's talking to the street performer. And in his mind, Crawley is his guy. Like Crawley is his right hand man, like his information guy, where he's like
that's what he is idea in the comics, guy, right? That's his comic guy. That's what he is.
He's like his, he's like his alpha almost.
Man on the street. Like he get all his intel.
Yeah, more so even Crawley, right? More of that. Yeah, the man on the street. He's like his informant almost, right? So not informant, but he's like his, he's his guy. So
it's probably I think it's probably that is probably a good way because the street level way do it is, but it seemed like they having a conversation and he's getting advice, but like you say, in his mind, he might actually see Crawley's mouth move and pause, like giving them information because he seemed like they were having a conversation.
Yeah. And
that's what
it just seemed like Crawley was more alive in this episode.
He was. I'm with you. I thought he was gonna say something.
Like you can look into it, like he had his mouth, like he was kind of like he looked like he wanted to talk. So Crawley, he leaves Crawley, he goes to the storage facility, right?
Yeah.
And the guy, what does this guy say? The guy's like, "Oh yeah, I know you. Yeah, I got you, man. Locker 4, 5, 6, or whatever it is. You know what I mean?" So they go to the storage. They go to the locker.
Speaking of which, what damn when they do that shit in London? Like, what attendant know your locker number? Like,
I know. Hey, motherfucker,
hey, thousands of storage facility units in there. You gonna know I'm 43?
Nigga, how much do I come here? you I just suspicious, bro. Like, like you been in there, bro, because you got the key. You know what I mean? You been in my hey man, I'm going my it's hot. Yeah, you do that in America, bro. They gonna hey man, what you mean you 4, 5, 6, bro? What you hey man,
the only person that'll know is if it's a dude attendant and the girl that come in thick. He gonna remember her number, like
he gonna be
yeah. Yeah, he got it. Yeah, he got her. Yeah, he in the video looking at her like,
I got you, mom. I got you. Yeah, look, I got the keys right here, already ready for you. I keep them in a special place. No, so he, little clerk or whatever, black dude. He runs him to the he takes him to the storage locker. He goes in the storage locker, and it looks like it's like a little bunker in there, right?
Yeah, he didn't set up. Yeah,
there's
he like he was downrange. Like if he was like,
I know what you're talking about.
You go set up. Yeah, he looked definitely like he was downrange. Like got my cot, got my equipment, and depending on what your
he had a little cot.
What unit you kind of with.
Yep,
it's the kind of equipment that you have in those containers and everything. I was in the communication unit, so I'm gonna go there. And we're gonna have different satellite equipment, this, that, and the third, routers, whatever we need. They all in that on those cases. He looked like he was setting up that way.
Yeah,
he was living out that joint.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like Mark has been living out of the storage facility, which is probably why the guy knows him. Where it's like, man, you spent a lot of time in there. So he's sleeping in there. He has a whole setup. He has the cot out. He has a bag with stuff in it.
It was a good bag, wasn't it?
Yeah, Steve digs into the bag. He pulls out a loaded, looks like I want to say it was a 45.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he pulled out a 45. He like, whoa, it's a tool in the bag. You know what I mean? So he pull out the toolie. You know what I mean? And he could tell Steve don't know how to handle it. He's just like, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
And
some shit like this.
Yeah, like Cause Steve is they overemphasize that Steve is just a sniveling coward, man. But anyway, he like, by this time Mark started talking to him, right? Mark make his first appearance in this episode, right? Cause he looking like a mirror, right? Or did he wait till he got out of the?
Yeah, what storage unit have a bunch of damn glass in there like that, and mirrors and shit?
Mirrors and shit, man.
Like, let's keep we want to get nitpicky. Like,
right.
First of all, when you walk up to a go again, you get a lock. Usually had a number on the damn thing. Now he might have took it off because he wanted to be incognito, so that's why he got to ask where the storage unit is. But he goes into the thing, he goes into it, and then there's like mirrors everywhere.
Yeah, so those
it wasn't like his mirrors. It was like the walls were glass, or the walls were like storage unit like that. But maybe that's what it's like in London.
Right.
I know they had to do that for the story, right? So they can talk. But that now that I think about that, that's like different.
Yeah, that's different. So
I've had many storage units.
I've had a storage unit. Yeah, I've had to move. When I moved it down here, it was like
yeah. Stock up for a minute.
You ain't living in that bitch. You ain't living in no storage unit, bro. Like it's just,
you got to buy water insurance, bug insurance when you get one anywhere else, man. His was like a different apartment. It was in a flat.
Man. So he in there, and the lighting in there was amazing. Like,
it was beautiful.
You see the lighting in that bitch? It was like, his storage unit better than a lot of apartments. So he in there, man. He started looking in mirrors, man. Mark talking to him like, man, hey, look, man, don't fuck this up. What is Mark saying to him, basically?
No, Mark telling him, because like Steve started questioning him, like, man in the mirror, and then he wants to know what's going on, because he's like, am I going crazy? He's like, that's when he let him know, like, no. Yeah. I work for, I'm with Khonshu. I'm what he say, I'm the fist. He didn't say fist of vengeance at that time, but he's like, I'm the hand of justice for Khonshu.
He explains
I'm his avatar.
Right. He explains his purpose, like, I'm his avatar. Steve is just like, man, what are you talking about? Steve's just freaking out.
Steve ain't trying to hear none of that.
He ain't trying to hear none of it, man. So Steve threatens Mark, and he's like, no, I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna turn myself in. They're gonna lock me up, so I can't hurt anybody else. So Mark like, man, chill, bro, chill. You wild and be like,
yo, chill out,
chill, man. Like, go sit down somewhere, man. Like, damn. So Khonshu getting mad. He started banging on shit. In there, So Steve freaking out, man. He runs out. This is where I kind of like roll my eyes, because he just like so over the top, man. He just he's just like running out of he's like running around the storage facility, and Khonshu, he like spills out into the street, and just so happens, guess who pulls up?
Young Layla on a scooter.
Layla pulls up on a scooter, got a helmet already ready for Steve. Well, Mark in this case, but Steve got the helmet ready for him. He jumps on. He rides.
I didn't even think about that. She definitely had the helmet ready.
She had the helmet ready for this nigga.
Yeah.
So he been riding bitch before, you know what I mean? So he get on there, he riding bitch. You know what I mean? He riding bitch, and he like clutching all onto the shoulders.
Yeah.
He's such a he's just so over the top, man. Like, goddamn, all right, we get it, bro. You're a sniveling coward. Like, we get it. So he's just grabbing onto her shoulders, and she's like, here she go, bro. That she starts spouting exposition and doesn't stop to the end of the episode. But anyway, she's spouting exposition, right?
That was the purpose.
You were supposed to meet me here. And what happened? I thought we were. He's like, Steve don't know what the hell she's talking about, because this is for Mark, obviously. She's like, you could drop the accent. I'm sure we're far away. And it's like, you didn't even see who he was running from. He's like, you could drop the accent. So so Steve is like, she's like, why are you holding me like that? And he's like, so Steve put his arms around her waist. He full on riding bitch. So she like, what did she say to him? Because basically, where are they going? Yes, they're going back to the
They
apartment.
go back
So
to the flat. Yeah, he had to tell like
they
just
go
take me
back to the
back to the
flat.
flat.
They get
Yeah,
in the
yeah. They go to the
flat
flat.
and basically they proceed to like open up books and have a conversation.
Yeah, they have a moment.
They have a moment where Steve basically explains to her, Layla, like that I'm not Mark, I'm Steve. And she's like, whatever, you know. Um, she's spouting out a bunch of shit at once. So one of the things that she spouts out is, we're getting a divorce. I brought the papers.
Yeah,
I'm your
you have to
wife, by the
sign.
way. She says that on the
Yeah,
ride too. So
yeah, yeah,
she's
yeah.
like, yeah, I'm your wife. I'm still your wife, and I'm here actually for the divorce. So she pulls out the divorce papers, and Steve is like, because every British guy got to pull out his glasses.
Of
They ain't just
course.
saying like us, you know what I mean? Where you like you got your glasses on now. Nah,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
only
yeah.
bring them out to read something. So he like,
Glasses already on when it's us. We're not going. I'm never going to the glasses. You know what I'm saying? I ain't
he,
ever a situation like, hold on. I couldn't live my life, but if you wear glasses, you need them shits.
need them shit. So
I
he pulls
never
out the
went to the
glasses.
glasses.
He's like,
I'm
let
about
me
to
see
do
what
that
this.
tomorrow. Like,
Right.
see how that work out for me.
So he pull out the glass. He's reading the divorce papers. So basically, he finds out they're supposed to get a divorce. He's like, no, I would never divorce you. You're a man, you're lovely and all this shit. He like flattering her, and she's just looking at him like, okay. And they start reading French poetry, and it's like a weird scene where he's like, that's my favorite poet. She's like, no, it's my favorite poet. Can't be your favorite poet. It's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
He got more, and then around this time, Mark in the mirror the whole time, like, man, get
yeah,
her up out of here, man. She
yeah.
don't need to be
Mark
here.
is trying to get her to do everything. He's yelling out everything in the book to get her out of the apartment. He's like, it's dangerous. Don't tell her anything. Get rid of her. And of course, Steve, he does the opposite of everything Mark says. He goes immediately to the bag. And why does he go to the bag? Why did he go to the bag?
I
Why do
think
you think?
she went right to the bag
Did she go to the
because
bag?
it was just laid out.
So the bag was laid out, and it's
Yeah, she was
because
rummaging
okay, no,
through
I know what
stuff
it is.
because
It
she
was
was
a
doing
weird,
her thing.
right. It was a weird part where Steve is digging in the bag because Steve is like, I'm gonna show her everything. He just basically trying to go
Yeah,
against
that's right.
Mark.
That's right. That's right.
So
Yeah, that's right.
he's like, no, I'm gonna show her, because and he's shitting on Mark, by the way, which is like, again, and we'll get into this later. The issues I had with the writing is like, why are you shitting on a main character? I don't get it. Like, he's like, oh no, this Mark guy's a twit, twat, and all this, like calling him an idiot, basically. And it's like, okay, so they dig into the bag. He's about to pull out the scarab. He's like, no, you're gonna get her killed. And that pauses. That's like that stops Steve from pulling the scarab out because he's like, okay, yeah, her life might be in danger. But she comes in and she like strong. Did you see that? She like strong arms him out the way. Like she like hems him. Like, get out of the way.
Picked him up and put him onto the side.
You get over there. Like, so it's like they get, she get physical with him, push him out of the way. She pulls out the scarab, and again, the exposition continues. She's like, no, this was the thing that we were looking for, and I can't believe that you didn't tell me about it. You weren't gonna tell me? What, And Mark is like, I told you not. Hey, Steve, I told you not to tell her about it. And Steve is just like, no, you take it. You take it. Just take it. You can have it. And
And
so
one of the things
right.
about that scarab that we didn't point out earlier is
Oh yeah.
Mark had let Steve know what that thing does because remember when Mark when
He did.
Steven opened it and then
It was
he was
dope.
like
Yeah.
it's not a compass because it's not going north,
Like,
but then again Mark had to let him know like nah, this is to find did he tell him earlier that's when that's how they found Emmett's tomb, or that's what that she pointed that out in her exposition. when she opened it, that's when she was like, "Yeah, this lets us know what it does," and it points to Amit's tomb.
Right.
She the
By the
one who
way,
said that.
yep. And Layla,
This is
by
what
the
we've
way,
been
is
looking for.
yeah, because because remember, Layla can read hieroglyphics, right?
Yeah.
Like Layla, he's like, you're amazing, So it's like, here we go, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
so, so so Layla can do all this stuff, man. She can speak French, read hieroglyphics, all this shit. So Steve is just like, oh, yeah, you can have it, yeah, take it, And she's like, then next thing you know, knock on the door, and there's like right away they open it. You just something's off. It's not because he thinks, oh no, it's I tore, I destroyed a bathroom. What they call it, the Louvre. I destroyed the Louvre.
Yeah.
They coming for me, and he's like, even though for some reason, even though he thought it was the cops, he tells her to hide for some reason, right? So she hides, and he opens the door, and there's this like weird duo, I guess, whatever. That's like two people who look like they're supposed to be cops, even though they don't show any badge or anything like that. They force their way in the door, and they start searching this apartment. They introduce themselves as like, yeah, I'm Jefferson and something, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, it
they
was John
forced
F.
their way.
Kennedy's name.
Yeah,
Was it
John.
John
Yeah,
F.
it was.
Kennedy?
It was John. It was
Like
Fitzgerald and
Fitzgerald
John.
and
John It was Fitzgerald and
Fitzgerald
Kennedy.
and something. It might have been Fitzgerald and Kennedy. Yeah.
Fitzgerald and Kennedy. So they forced their way into the apartment. They start searching this apartment. They almost, they start looking around. They like, what's all this stuff? And they looking at the Egyptian stuff, basically the pyramids and stuff like that. And they like, it's awfully weird for you to have this, And he's like, no, he's trying to play it off. So he's still
paperweight.
confused.
He
Yeah,
said it
because
was
he
a
think it's
paperweight.
right. He think it's cops coming for him for the stupid bathroom or whatever. So by this time, Layla is hiding out on the roof. She's hiding herself out on the roof, so they don't know she's there. And they tell Steve like, yeah, you gotta come with us.
When they
in
see
the
his
car.
passport.
Yeah, we gotta see that passport.
It was because they needed something to fake arrest him on.
Yeah. This passport is
Was it the passport they got him? I might be a little too early. I don't think that was what it was.
It was a forged passport.
It was gonna take them anyway.
Because it said Mark on it, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, Steve just goes along with it. All right, yeah. Gets in the car. They're in the car, and they're just kind of saying like weird things to him. What do they say to him in the car? They just like, whatever.
Yeah, you didn't do it because that's when remember they pulled his name up.
Yeah, like, right. They bring up the fact that okay, sorry about that. They bring up the fact that he's wanted for like murdering some scientists or something. Or,
I think what might have been what they call them, the people that's on them expeditions that they go on. They got a name for it. Yeah. I think it was archaeologists.
They murdered some archaeologists, execution style. He killed them, and eventually they stop and they get out, and he's talking to Mark. Mark is like, look, man, just let me take over. I can get us out of this. Just be calm. He's fighting with Mark again. This whole episode he's been fighting with Mark. And Mark is like, no, come on, man. He's like, no, I'm never giving you control again. And it was a weird exchange, and it kind of ended weird because the radio responds to him, and I'm thinking it's Mark. I'm like, damn, Mark is okay. This goes back to, is any of this happening because he's talking to the radio now? But it's not it's not Mark on the radio. It's the villain.
Harold.
It's Harold. Harold responds on, which is weird because the radio was the radio keyed. Like, how did you? Anyway, so he's talking to Harold. Harold's like, "No, I hear you loud and clear, Mr. Grant." And he comes out, which, by the way, Ethan Hawke's performance so far has been. I think it's been on point so far.
Oh yeah, he dope.
He dope. Like for a villain,
he dope.
He dope. I mean, he got like a presence. On screen where it's like, okay, yeah, he have great actor, veteran actor. You can tell.
I believe him on both sides.
all
what
the
I'm
way.
saying?
I'm
Like,
here
I
for him.
believe
Like,
him.
yeah.
I believe him on both sides. Like,
One of the finer, one of the best. I mean, you know what I mean? So far, one of the more interesting villains that we've gotten in these MCU shows. So he comes out with the cane. You know, he walks out in person. That's another thing I like about him. It's like he put in work. He'll show up, he'll pull up on you in person. He don't just send the goon. He only gonna send the goon so far, right? He only gonna send the goon so far. So before he pulling up himself.
He only need his goons for backup.
Y'all just
he don't need them to go do it. This me.
You know what I mean? I got this. So he pulls Steve out of the car, but it ain't really smoke right away. It's just like, nah, look, chill. I can tell you got a lot going on. You know what I mean? It's not, you know, he's like, I get it, man. I get it. You got a lot going on. You know, you got voices in your head. And he makes a reveal, which is he is the former avatar of Khonshu. He was the first avatar of Khonshu, and he knows Khonshu very well. He knows all of Khonshu's tendencies and mannerisms and everything. He knows that he's like, oh yeah, he's having a fit, right? You know, he understands Khonshu. And Steve is like, yeah, you know. And Khonshu was like telling Mark, like, you know, kill him, you know. But I think I'm jumping ahead. But so they're walking around the neighborhood, and we find out that this neighborhood is very diverse, in terms of, you know, like there's a like a concentrated effort to educate people, right?
Bro, they
Like they cultured as fuck. Like
they cultured.
He explains it again. Exposition is just put the exposition, just dump it everywhere. You know what I mean? They just taking the exposition and just spreading it. Shit just everywhere. It's like, man, he's like explaining it to him. Here we like to educate everybody. Everybody needs to speak at least 3 languages, and this is why. It's like, wow, you know what I mean? This is what,
and he named the 3 languages.
He's like,
right? Chinese or Mandarin and
no, he's like,
something else.
Mandarin, Spanish, Portuguese, whatever the hell, you know. And Steve kind of like, yeah. So Warren's like, you know, yeah, you vegan, you know. So they sit down and eat. They want to have a meal. And, you know, again, he's explaining to him, like, yeah, I know Khonshu very well, and yada yada.
Calling all the stuff that he do.
Calling all the stuff he do. Like,
he probably saying this right now.
Yeah, right. I bet you he's telling you right now to kill me, huh? Like, you know. And of course,
justice.
Yeah, he's like,
they had a little line like that.
Yeah. So he's basically trying to explain to Steve that Khonshu's full of shit, you know. Like, don't fall for the, you know. He's still upset, you know what I mean? Because basically he like gives him background. He says something about like the gods kicked him out or something. What did he say?
Yep.
Yeah, just exposition just all over the place. So pause. But he was like, so he like, you know, he started
explaining the purpose, right? To me, he had Steve the entire time, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he kind of was sunning Khonshu, right? Because Steve he's not following that path anyway, whether it's because even Mark kept trying to talk to him through this reflection in the bowls and everything like that. Steven don't want none of that. He's actually like the only time outside of him, like you say, him being extra. It's the only time, like through this whole episode, he's showing he really can't be bullied by them, right? Like in these moments. We starting to get into some of the things where it's like, and I don't want to go too deep, but like there's a reason why Mark can't just take over. Something like for some reason this guy's stronger at that point where he can't just be taken over by them too.
I got
a
theory about that too.
Still weak, but he can't take over, right? But
he's in control.
So Arthur is giving them all this, you know, like, hey, you know, you don't really need to be, you know, false, you know, succumb to those guys. Look, he's doing it right over here. Then he starts to lose him when he gets to the Amit purpose.
Yes, there we go. He loses him. He loses Steve. Right.
Steven
when he gets to the part, it's a part in there about killing kids, and he's like, nah, I can't, because he starts to, even Steve is like rationalizing it,
Yeah.
and Warren is rationalizing it, and they diverge, they split on kids. He's like, well, what
Well, it
if
was the
this,
part about
what
judging people. It was the judging
yeah,
people
judging
before
people
thing
before they
happened, right?
it happens, right?
And he was like,
So
"How do you know? How do you know if they're really innocent? Like, what about kids?"
you gonna
So he went
judge
to
a
that part
kid
about
35 for something they do 35 years from now? Like, what if we have to
yeah,
do that? And again, uh Warren, he's standing on the square like, yeah, hey, so be it,
Hero.
Harold, why I keep saying Warren for?
I think it's
Harold,
Warren. It don't
sorry.
matter.
Yeah,
Cool.
Harold, my bad. Harold. So Harold standing on the square like, no, I'm not. Yeah, so be it. If that's the case, then yeah,
Yeah,
we're
you got to
judging.
you got to
He
amputate. You
fully
know, say
believes in
you
it.
got to amputate the leg to prevent the
Right, a
and
diseased
save the
leg.
body.
Yeah, to save a body, which is it's a weird analogy, but so, but it's not convincing Steve. Steve is like, no, nah. Yeah. He looking around at the kids part is where he's completely off the ship. He's like, yeah, I can't kill kids. He's like, and he looking around at the rest of the group, like, are y'all down with this? Like, y'all will kill kids, and they all are like in the trance, like, yes, yeah, nigga, if we have to, we will, And he like, well, I ain't down with that, you know what I mean? So
He starts
at
asking about the scarab,
he
right?
started asking about the scarab. So he's asking about the scarab, and
But before that, he pulls out the. Before he did that, I know you're about to go.
yeah,
He went to the cane, right, and was like, you know what this is? This is a gift from Amit, right?
a little bit of
And
her
then
power.
everybody backed up.
Yeah.
As soon as he put the cane out, his crew
Yeah.
backed up.
They
They
backed
done
up.
seen
Like
that in
they
work.
know
They
what's
done
about to
seen
yeah.
that. They seen
Yep.
that in action before.
They know
So
what's
they
about to
all
happen.
back up. They all back up. And like you said, your boy Hero. Oh man, my lights thing came on. Your boy Hero is really, like you say, he owned his square. Like he need to get that scarab.
He like, I need my scarab, bro. Because he
I need my
basically
scarab
cut through
to
the
run this.
bullshit at this point.
Yeah.
He like, look, man, I tried to convince you. I tried to get you on the
Yeah.
team. Because he was basically gonna put him on the team and then ask for the scarab and get the scarab and like, all right, man, you can join us. You know what I mean, I tried to
Yeah.
judge you. You passed. I mean, you kind of passed the judgment. You didn't die, so I mean,
Yeah.
join us. You know what I mean? If I could he's like, you can bring Conchu, whatever, and he asked for the scarab, and he's like, I don't have the scarab. And he's like, well, who has the scarab? And she's like, here comes Layla, which was just, again. Go ahead, bro.
No, I'm just doing a hand gesture.
That's what
She held that bitch in the air like I got the scarab.
Dun,
Like,
dun, dun. I'm like, what if like it just didn't fit. I just felt like that part didn't fit, but I'm just like, watch. I'm saying, okay, so she's like, I have the scarab, and again, we get the Infinity War moment with Tony and Banner, where she's like, summon the suit. We get the title. Of the episode here. She's like, all right.
If Peter Griffin was in that, he would have been hyped. Whenever he heard the title, the title of the movie or the show in the damn show,
Pitch me, and he'd be like, you said the title,
That's the name of the movie.
That's the name of the movie, So he's like, she's like, summon the suit. It's like the exact same, she's like, yeah, go ahead, summon the suit. And he's like, man,
Mind you, if he could summon the suit, he would have already summoned the suit.
Right?
Like you'll save him a moment. There was a couple moments in this show. Although I liked it, I really did. There were a couple moments, if you really break it down, it was like, why did you have to do it that way?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm running into.
In this
right?
mode, like, why you not in your mode that you understand that?
Yeah.
Yo, this is not the same guy.
Right. You clearly left the apartment understanding that this is another guy. Like you either the whole point of the conversation about you saying, "Oh no, that can't be your favorite poem. This is my favorite poem," because it's like it's not the
should have
same.
been that should have clicked right there.
Yeah.
Should have clicked right there. If nothing else clicked, that should have clicked. Like,
right.
Oh, this ain't dude.
Mark doesn't like poetry. Mark never said anything about this being his favorite poem. This not the same guy. But yeah, she's like, summon the suit. And he's like, nah, I can't summon the suit. So
they break camp.
They break camp, man. She saves Steve, right? And I don't know what. Again, of all the exposition they dumped in this episode, they didn't really say anything about her having training or anything, but she proceeds to like just start whooping ass. She's like knocking over grown men and stuff, like and pulling Steve. Come on, dragging Steve,
yeah,
and just bulldozing past people, in the cold or whatever. So Steve is like running behind her like a little coward. And what do they get to?
Well, right after that is when your boy starts. He summons that jackal. He takes that.
He summons the jackal, and that's very interesting when he summoned it. Yeah, because it looked familiar, right? That color scheme looks very familiar,
color
right?
Scheme. That's the one they really, because it started with Black Panther, right?
Yeah.
Did it start with Panther?
Yeah. No, it does. It looks like vibranium. Yeah, it does.
That purple, the herb. That was a color scheme they used a lot in that, like that.
Yeah, they did.
That whole movie, that particular purple.
Yeah,
I think was it in Shang? I feel like Shang got a bunch of colors, so we could probably pick anyone. But there was another
Shang
one.
Got a bunch of color schemes.
There was another one someone pointed out. My room, but there was another one that they pointed out. I seen somewhere where that particular kind of like realm, because that's more of like the I think the Power Stone had it, right? But there was more of that realm. That's that realm kind of color that they started to seem like they want to use in the MCU.
Good point, man.
Yeah, when he did that, and that thing went into the ground, and
the jackal started coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the jackal.
So that's what happened next. Harold was like, "Nah, run me that scarab. I need that.
I need that, B. Yeah, like hand me that. You know what I mean? But the girl, she dragging the boy around. The jackal come out. This particular jackal seemed very much more aggressive than the other jackal.
Yeah, that first jackal didn't really want all that action.
Nah, he really didn't. He was kind of like, I'm just here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was more of just something like he was like, they first one.
Yeah,
he wasn't really. Remember, he was trying to get out the bathroom. He's trying to grab on something so he can get away. Like he ain't really want that action.
Not this jackal. This jackal, like, he wanted all the smoke, right? This jackal, like, no, I'm good, B. You do what you need to do. You call who you need to call. I'm here. Like, I'm, jackal, jackal stand on code. You know what I mean? He come out, he like, all right, B. He chasing him around, you know what I mean? So what happened? So somehow Steve ended up falling off the roof, or
because they went into that room, right? So they trying to duck out the way. She's still trying to tell them about the suit, but ultimately they was able to go into a room where they can seal it off, right? Because they were still getting chased. So the regular dudes couldn't get in, right? But now the jackal
went to work, like, and
so now they in that room, they in that little storage area, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Now both of them, Mark and Layla, at him about getting it. So she can't really figure it out for some reason.
See the jackal.
And she can't figure it out that this is not Mark.
Yeah, she right. It's still not like clicking.
Like, no, something wrong with this guy.
No,
right.
That,
she's like, no, he can't. Like, what do you got? Nah, if I can, don't you think I would have already? I'm moving. Like, I would have already been in that if I could. Like, wait, I wouldn't even been in. I would have got out. When they came to the apartment, it was on site.
It was on site.
When they came to those people, I would have like, nah. I wouldn't even answer the. Probably wouldn't even really answered it. They could have had to bust in, and I'd have been out the window.
Kick the door in.
I'd have did the same thing you did. So at some point, none of this is clicking that he's not. But she going at him. Mark doing this move like, give me control. He doing the clap. Give me control clap. Mark, Steven not doing it.
Steven don't want to budge. Steve like, no, I ain't. No, I'm not doing it. So Steve, he holds on to the point where, and we, as the audience, you're looking like, all right, he gonna give up control.
It's coming.
No, Steve holds out to the last moment and falls. And when he falls, does he fall?
Yeah, he fell. I felt like he got knocked. I have to look back again. Did the actual
he like hits the ground or something?
Out the thing.
He like stands up and he got a suit on with the mask. He's this guy.
He's Mr. Knight.
He's Mr. Knight now. He got a nice suit on, blazer, tie, and he looking in the mirror immediately. And Mark Mark is not Moon Knight. Mark doesn't have the Moon Knight suit on, the original one on. Mark is also Mr. Knight. And Mark is in the mirror like, hey man, come on, bro. You got us looking like, what do you say? What do you say? You got us
Colonel Sanders, what it was?
Psycho Colonel Sanders, you know, and he's like, Steve, it's like this is a Steve manifestation, right? Like Steve made this happen. So Steve is like, no, I like it, you know. Yeah, look at me, you know. Like this is always the guy Steve wanted to be, you know, it seems like. But again, I got some theories about that, but we'll get to that. But he's like looking in the mirror, like, yeah, I think I like it. You know what I mean? Not really realizing that again, Jackal want all the smoke. He just ain't made it down yet. You know what I mean? Jackal on the way. Like, so Jackal get down the street level, like, all right, man, hey, bro, let's finish this. Like, hey, what you thought it was over? So we see, and then we start to get like a we start to see that other people can't see the Jackal. Regular people can't see the Jackal, including Layla. Yeah. Only Steve can see the Jackal.
It looks like only see. So we can kind of, if we off the top, it's maybe I think only the person that's the point of interest. Like whoever they
that's what's but
it could be just but that's how maybe the point of interest can only see this Jackal, like the person that is actually designed destined for, right.
And so we kind of see that. So he's like, she like throws a bottle at the Jackal's like head to, you know, she knows that there's something there attacking Steve. She just doesn't realize that.
Which is weird that that's what she wanted. Like she believed that. I felt like it was something. I don't want to shit on her because it was probably something that the way he was getting tossed or whatever, but it was something to let her think like, okay, I'm gonna throw this bottle and then we're gonna really get to see it. Because up until then, even for you and me, this is still kind of fake. Like maybe he really is thinking that's happening to him, and that's just having, you know, like having seizures and different things, like somebody called that out.
To that moment, yeah.
Maybe he's having these different moments, but his body reacting like that, but he's possessed of something. Like it ain't a thing that's actually really happening to him. Right. But that's the moment she actually believed.
And she started believing. So she started getting smacked around by the Jackal.
Yeah, she gets smacked around by the Jackal. Now it's real.
She getting dragged by the Jackal, right? She getting dog walked by the Jackal. So Steve, he kind of doing like this. He kind of going to like some comedy relief, man. Like, you know,
he was slapstick.
He like, you know, it's like
this Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Ali stuff.
Yeah, he spout out some stuff, man. It's like, okay. And you like, all right, so is this what Mr. Knight gonna be? He's like, you know, the comedy relief. And he fighting the Jackal, and he like land a punch. I think he landed a punch on the Jackal, right?
Oh, he was super hyped.
Yeah, he was hyped because he landed a punch, but the Jackal, of course, gets back up and start. But the Jackal's, by the way, the Jackal's winning the fight. The Jackal was whooping Steve ass, Mr. Knight ass. Mr. Knight was he was slapping him around, bro. Because again, that's the point. That's what we looking at, where we like, because other people, you know, like the two old ladies see it and they like, this guy, I think he's having a seizure. You know, he's like bumping up against the bus, and he like, he's just getting destroyed. You know what I mean? So he getting his ass whooped, and of course, because you know, Layla finally helps him. You know, amazing. Layla jumps in. You know what I mean? Throw the bottle. You know, and that's when the tide starts to turn a little bit. But ultimately, Steve realizes, like, okay, yeah, you know, this ain't really going my way. It ain't really working out for me. And Mark is like, yeah, man, let me take over, bro. I got
other people get smacked up too. Now it's like,
yeah, now people starting to get hurt.
Over. Yeah.
And the whole point is they supposed to protect the weak. That's a line they threw out earlier. Again, exposition was getting great. I mean, so they supposed to protect the innocent or something. We'll have to get the exact line, but their whole job is to protect the innocent. So innocent is starting to get hurt. So he's like, all right, man, you gotta let me do my job. And he's like, yeah, you're right. In comes Moon Knight. And again, the Jackal still want the smoke. He, even though Moon Knight come out, right? The Jackal was good, right? Like,
no, he still wanted that.
Yeah, the Jackal was like, all right, you know, to the point where the jackal chasing him now. So he's getting the jackal's attention and he's away from the people, and he's like just running. And we see full on now. We see Moon Knight. We kind of see what we see in the comic books where that's why they call him Marvel's Batman, because he on the rooftop and he jumping from rooftop to rooftop.
Mm-hmm.
Cape fully flowing. It's like, oh, like this point we like, this is it. You know what I mean? That's what we've been waiting for. They jump. He jumping and how does he stop the jackal eventually?
Well, he knew he had that area where there was going to be like that spike or whatever you want to call that. So he knew he had that spear or whatever you want to call that thing. Like, I just need to get, because he kept saying like, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. So that when they hopped off that roof, he could snatch him and he could bring him down and spike him real quick. Like,
speared him, right? So he like,
that's what it was.
Yeah, he speared him. He impales him, right?
From the sky. Yeah.
Balls. So he's impaled on the steeple or whatever, right? So so Damon's done, you know what I mean? He comes down, he lands, and Layla looking at the suit like, that's the guy, So wait a minute, what happens after
when he got impaled? When he got impaled, he got his crescent back from my guy, right?
That's right. He
that scene that was in the trailer, the scene that was in the trailer, got his crescent back, and then what happens is he come up out the suit.
He came out the suit.
Now Mark in the mirror, not Mark, but Steven in the mirror. Like,
this is a very interesting part too.
This was like the best part of the show.
There you go.
Like,
right. Again, when you talked about this, that was I had that in my note.
Yeah, show.
That was the best part of the show.
Back and forth, and I'm gonna let you go. But they going back and forth like, oh, this is what it feel like. This is what it feel like on this side. He's like, yeah, you get used to it. And then he like, I feel like I can't breathe. He's take a deep breath and line like that.
Yeah.
Steven want his body back. Or no, he said something. There was a line before that when he was like, it was something to the effect like, why is this happening? Why can't he's like, I'm gonna take my body back, and he tried to do the move, and then it was like he was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like, whoever has the body is the strongest now. So that's kind of like in our conversation we was having, even like in last episode, like something's going on, because you figure Steven's supposed to be the alternate personality. Why can't Mark just do what he need to do when he need to do it? Right? It should be easy, and now all of a sudden it's not. And he told him like, whoever in the body, I guess he can feel that strength now. Like, whoever in the body is the strongest now, or something doesn't happen.
I can keep you in there if I wanted to. And again, you're right, man. This is the most interesting part of the episode for me, because up until this point, Steve has been our perspective, the audience's perspective.
He's been the narrator, like what they call.
Yeah, he's been the narrator. He's the
reliable narrator.
He's the reliable narrator. So we've been following him. So now we get the behind the scenes, because Mark wasn't saying anything about, man, this is really uncomfortable being in this mirror. I need you to he just wanted to get out. We didn't understand that, how it felt to be in that position. So now for Steve, the way, because Steve is like a civilian, right? Steve is like a regular guy. You know what I mean? He doesn't think of himself as a personality. He thinks he's like, I'm Steve.
That's his life. Yeah.
So it's like he's really
me.
Right. So it's like a human being trapped in this like alternate mirror dimension. And I thought that was really interesting, man. Him looking out to the art, looking out to Mark, like, man, I don't like this. I'm scared. I feel like I can't breathe. And Mark snaps. Right? Like, Mark is like,
because Steven started telling him some like the truth as Steven said, like, you done ruined my life, you ruined everything you touch. I don't have relationships, you hurt everything. And then Steven's Mark snaps.
Mark kicking that mirror. He kicks the mirror, which again, I feel like that symbolizes something where it's like, I can shut you up by not facing myself. I can just be quiet. I'm not gonna look at you. He smashes the mirror. He like kicks it in. So Mark snaps, shut up. Steve, for the first time, we don't see Steve. Steve is gone. He's silent. He's trapped. It's all Mark now. It's all Mark. It's no longer the narrator. So we get the Mark. And
your boy Conchu show up.
Like, good. I'm paraphrasing, but he's just like,
But even Conchu asked, like, hey man, you told me this wasn't gonna be no problem.
Yeah, he did. He said that. He was like,
yeah, you told me this wasn't gonna be no problem, man. He's like, oh, something must have happened. And to your point, we were talking about the beginning of the last episode.
That's what we get into.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to steal your thunder, but you
No.
You
Good.
laid that out like usually in this situation, there's something, it's something traumatic that happens that brings this historic, just by the science, something dramatic happens that brings this out now. Right. Really. So something happened. He's like, I don't even, something must have happened recently and I can't figure it out.
But here's this is we about to get to, we're gonna go on a full breakdown mode here. All right. We did that's the end of the recap for the most part. But the last part of the recap is this. We find out pretty much what the deal was, right? And the deal is between him and Conchu is, hey man, listen, you're gonna be my avatar. And if you're not gonna be my avatar, so because remember, what's the villain name again? Harold told him earlier in the episode, hey man, you think it's over, it's never over.
Yeah,
you think you out of the deal. It's always one last thing. So he foreshadowed. That's a foreshadowing. It's foreshadowing. And again, it comes up at the end of the episode where he's like, hey, listen, I still need you to do one last, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, I need you to do one last thing. He was like, and if I'm not, he's like, I don't think you really want to end this deal because once I leave you, you're not gonna like the replacement. And of course, who's the replacement?
Yeah, Lele,
right?
Lele.
And again, this to segue. It's a big part of the problems that I have. This is where the problems with the MCU and these shows start to rear their head, right? Because we talked about this up until this point. No commercial, no obvious connections to the rest of the universe, which is good. They stuck to that in this episode. And like you said, this is a really good episode for the most part, even though they kind of grinded things to a screeching halt by introducing Layla and just spilling out exposition at every chance they got at that. Like as soon as she showed up, just all exposition. But here we go again, man. We can't it's about her, bro.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Get to that, like I say, we'll just add the little point. No, we about to get to that right now because I got my question. Two things that happen. Mark realizes that he don't have to scare no more.
Yeah, I skipped over that.
So through all that hustle and bustle, he lost, coming out as Mr. Knight, he never had it anymore. Yeah. Harold ends up getting it from a homeless dude who grabbed it and then takes his soul. And then at the end, after Conchu gives him that line, like, look, I need, you got a particular set of skills. You a great avatar. So how you gonna figure this out? Like I could take her, but for this not to happen, how you gonna figure this out? I'll find a way. What you need me to do? You know what I need you to do. We fast forward, and now they're in Egypt. Yeah, I think that's the one time. So we got a whole nother thing too, because he was like, that's the last time we see Steven. But there was a mirror there, right?
Yep.
There was a mirror. So, and then we see what we deem to be Mark, and I say Dean. We think it's Mark,
exactly,
sitting there drinking. So we on the cell. Okay, you picking up what I'm putting down. We think it's Mark sitting there looking out on that yak, you know what I'm saying? Getting up into the window.
Yeah,
and that's how we close out the episode. Now we get to the part. Let's go back to this Layla thing, right? Because that's my next question. Why do you think Khonshu wants Layla? Is it bait or is it legit?
That's a great question.
Because let's just peel back the curtain a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I hope they're not, my thing is, because these things happen with the shows and all that, we looking up a situation where by the end of the series, Layla's the Moon Knight. Like, let's not even entertain that. Let's not even entertain that.
Right. I hope, man, that happens. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Seem like
that's what they they did this with Loki. They did it with Loki. We didn't know nothing about Loki, about female Loki being the main character. We just thought that she was gonna be, even on the build up, even on the leaks and all that stuff, man. Like we knew female Loki was gonna be a part of Loki. We didn't know it was gonna be about her. Here we go, bait and switch, right? Right, the bait and switch. But the answer,
doing this with the my bad, my
cut. No, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? We get to this part with the night, and that was my thing. Like, oh, look, man, I'm with it, but let it be part of the story. Like you have enough of these, you have enough in there. You have, I want to make sure I'm clear about this, but you have Captain Marvel, you have to force a character who is what he is to be something else.
Don't bait and switch, though. You know what I'm saying? Stop doing this, especially with characters that's not even established. I get you bait and switch with Loki. Loki's done a lot. So we can slide a female Loki in there, even though it was, again, a bait and switch, and it's kind of like weak, but nobody knows. Like Moon Knight's not, he hasn't established himself yet. We don't have 3 Moon Knight movies to lean on. We don't even know who Moon Knight is. We don't know his arc yet. So
we don't even know this Moon Knight because it's so
rich, Moon Knight.
Right. So that's my question. Like, I'm asking you. I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer.
Is that bait? Do you think it's bait? Meaning, like, really for Khonshu, like, because I got a theory. We getting into the theories. I got a theory.
Okay.
Do you think it's bait, or you think it's legit? Like, it's a legit thing. Like, no, she really could be an avatar because I think she might be the next Moon Knight ultimately. I'm
gonna say that's not what's gonna happen. That she's not gonna become Moon Knight. She's gonna have the suit on at some point. She's gonna have a moment where she summons the suit, right? We're gonna have that moment. Do I think Oscar Isaac and as Stephen Grant's gonna continue on as Moon Knight and be Moon Knight? Let's say 75% yes, right? But to answer the question, I think it's legit, and I think it's probably gonna have something to do with her lineage. I mean, even though I think the actress that plays Layla is from like Bahrain or something like that. In the show, she's gonna be Egyptian or something, or her family's gonna be Egyptian. Either way, I think it's gonna have something to do with lineage, and I think, I think it's legit. Like, I think she's gonna be the Avatar eventually, and don the Moon Knight costume at some point. But
within the show, you just think
within the
future time,
yeah, like she's gonna save him, or fight him, or
Yeah, she's gonna end up being man, because my theory, right? When they get back to the part about you look at Layla, because was Layla really is supposed to be like that? What was her name? Maureen from the comics, right? Is it Maureen? Real so. My thing, my thought, and I know I'm probably gonna be 100% wrong, is that his deal was to actually usually he had to save his life. Right, that event that ends where all those like people got killed and all this and all that, because her father's supposed to be a big part in I think in the Moon Knight's for real comic arc, right? I think was it he had either beef with his father or whatever it was that ultimately people got killed, and then she was that's how he got to know her through the archaeology stuff they were doing. I say all that to say this. I think his deal was to save her. So whatever happened in that event, right?
Okay.
Whatever happened in that event, that whatever, what I'm saying, that he got the bodies was dead and he had to make the deal with Khonshu to I got a feeling in through this story, they're gonna be like, he became that for her. Don't take her, take me.
I got you. Yeah.
And that's how I think that's how they're gonna try to play that. And he got to keep doing it, or because he was gonna take her anyway.
Yeah, he's
but
like,
I can see that being to you. Say what?
No, yeah, he's like, I got my eyes on her. I got my eye on her.
Yeah, she's about to be it. No, take me instead. And that's probably ultimately what happened through this version of the story on him to becoming Moon Knight. But Khonshu always holds that over his head.
Do you think that she's aware of Khonshu?
I don't think.
She was listening, right? She snuck in there and was listening, right? So he was exposition. He's telling them like, yeah, Khonshu's gonna tell you this, and then she's in the background somewhere holding.
Well,
scarab,
like,
right?
yeah. That's yeah. She can hear that. Yeah.
But I don't. It seems like she wouldn't be aware of Khonshu, right? Because she doesn't mention, like, she doesn't understand. Like we talked about, she doesn't understand that these are multiple personalities. She doesn't get it. She just thinks it's Mark. So And
she know Mark do disguises. She know Mark do the thing. But she don't know now Mark has become that.
Yeah, I don't think she's aware of the deal, like you said. And I think you're right about the deal. And I don't think she's aware of that deal. I think she's just like, oh no, we were looking for this thing, and out of nowhere, you just wanted to separate. You wanted a divorce. You wanted me to stay as far away from you as possible. And you basically you ghosted me. And I don't understand why. And you want a divorce. What she was doing, like you said, to avoid, it's like basically stay away from me. I saved your life, and now I don't want Conchu anywhere near you.
Yeah,
I don't even want Conchu thinking about exactly.
He can use that
So the farther away I keep you out of this, the better chance I got of Conchu leaving you alone for good. Which,
what if that's the dramatic situation that got him turning into forgetting his personalities? Right, him not being around her.
That's weak as hell.
The stress of that. I hope it's a little bit something more deeper than
that's
that.
Not exactly B.
Especially in the world. Stress.
Especially in a world where people got blipped out of existence. Like, I hope you're not that fragile, my guy, to where my wife, you know what I mean? But I mean, I get it. You know, if it's like your wife, you in love with the woman, and here comes this God that's like, oh yeah, I need to take her, and you like, no, take me. That can trigger a person. You know what I mean? I guess, you know, but it's kind of like, just thought it maybe would have been something else, but.
Yeah, I hope it's still something else. I hope that's not what it is. I'm just throwing that out there. But I do think, just to answer the question that I put out, I think I'm saying bait, from a sense that I think he became Moon Knight. He became the Avatar so that she wouldn't, and from that situation that they were in.
I got you.
You know,
I think that's that's solid.
I can't situation.
That's
people around him got killed. People close got killed.
Yep.
He was gonna take her. Like, nah, take me. Like, whatever they were going on that expedition to try to go find that scarab, it went bad. It went bad quick.
Yeah.
But you know, we'll get to that point. Right. Second question I got, and I'm sure you got some. The second question I
got you.
It was about Harrow. He used to be Khonshu's avatar. What you think happened?
If I'm being honest, I kind of like understood it. Like, I was following it to where I just thought that Ahmet came in and was like, "No, you my avatar." She kind of like sunned Khonshu, like, "No, I'm taking him," because Khonshu kind of like a renegade, right? He kind of like on the outs with the gods, right?
I didn't even think of it like that.
And I think Harrow being, I think he was drawn to Ahmet's power, you know, because Ahmet obviously has him hypnotized to the point where he's like not hypnotizing, but he's convincing other people of this grand vision of judging the world and cleansing and building this new world. And obviously here come, I think this new guy came in and was like, oh no, I'm way more powerful, even though she's not really like a god. But either way, it's like she comes in and she convinces him like, no, you listen, my justice is this is true justice. You know what I mean? I don't discriminate. I judge people, and I'm going to cleanse the world of all evil. And this is how I'm going to do it. Harold, believing in that, he's like, you know what, you're right. Whereas I got this other guy over here, Khonshu, who's throwing temper tantrums. He's inconsistent. He's a straight prick. I don't like him anyway. I got to, and it might, like you said, it might be his way out of it. Where the new guy came in and was like, no, you come with me. I'll get you out of this deal. And he's like, you know what? So I think, if I had to answer, that's how I think that's what happened. I think the new guy came and took him out of that deal that he had with Khonshu. He was like the smaller way out. And I believe in your vision of building a new world. I'm getting out of the deal.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to something you said a little earlier because I didn't even think of it like this. What if it was just what happened? I think all that is the truth. And I'm going back to the origin of probably when it ultimately happened. She probably grabbed him when they kicked your boy out. Like, well, we don't know ages and stuff like that, but ultimately, at some point in time, here, Contra got kicked out, right?
Yeah.
And
that's
what
true.
was the situation that, like, nah, you out? Like, what if the kick out is more recent than thousands of years? We don't know age. We don't know how old Arrow
Not a kick
is.
out could, yeah.
But something like that, where no, you're no longer part of this. I want him, and like you say, he agreed with everything Emmett was about, and that's how, like, okay, I used to be yours, but shit, you ain't even part of this team anymore, right? We done bought you out, so we're gonna go ahead and keep that.
That's what they did.
We hold that.
Yeah, and remember, this is the MCU. Things still revolve around. Everything revolves around past and current events, right? Of the MCU. We just had, we had the snap. And we had another snap that brought everybody back. So it's all types of things that are that affect the universe. Like nobody, it's pretty much like nobody is untouched, right? Like it reverberates all the way to the I'm drawing a blank. What are the in Eternals?
Eternals, the Celestials.
It reverberates through it. Like they noticed that shit, right? Like, hey, you know what I mean? And even going back to Thor's line in the first Avengers movie, like, Earth is showing that it has weapons,
prepare for a higher form of war.
A higher form of warfare. We know Thor is thought of as a god. These other gods, these Egyptian gods, they might just be higher beings, not necessarily gods, but they might just be higher beings who were they see that snap, and maybe something with the snap and the blip and the other events happening in the MCU caused them to say, like, hey, you know what, Conchu, you out of here, man. Like, we found a replacement, or maybe you didn't hold up your end of the deal. You know what I mean? Like, you weren't carrying your weight. Yeah, we kicking you out. Or maybe he went renegade,
which sounds more likely.
Right, he went renegade just because of the blip. Like, I lost one of my avatars, or whatever, And again, that could be a way that Harold got out. What if he got blipped?
He got blipped out, and then he came back. When he came back, he was.
Ahmed was like, I always wanted him. Because that's Khonshu's and the other gods. That's their only connection to this world. They're so far in another realm that they can't just. This is their only way that they can connect with this world is through an avatar. If your avatar gets blipped by this mad titan who comes out of nowhere, who's acquired all this power from the Infinity Gauntlet, he snaps everybody out of existence, including your avatar. They don't no longer have a connection to this world. Maybe that's how Harold got loose. He comes back 5 years later. Ahmed's like, I'm taking him. That's
it might have been something he lost rather than something he gave up, right? Something he lost.
Maybe something
in some way, shape, or form. Like you say, blip. Like you say, that makes, because the blip still is so prevalent. Like even like you say, they showing things.
Yeah.
When you start breaking down Easter eggs off of episode 1 with the GRC, I think, or is this one? The GRC is on the London bus that he was getting his ass kicked on.
Mm-hmm.
They got a GRC sign, so like shit is still real about the blip. The blip still means something, right?
The
still hold weight.
Yeah.
It's still
and of course it should. I mean, that's a fixed point, right? What they call a fixed point. That's a major event in this reality, right? Because I mean, I'm not sure the blip happened in all the realities. I guess you could say it doesn't if you look at What If, because technically, Thanos was stopped a few times, but in this particular,
even the Loki show.
Yeah, exactly. You got all these.
They got Thanos stuff sitting in that that area. They all got what they call that. Damn it! I watched every episode. I don't remember what that is when they got pruned.
Yeah, it was, area they got pruned. TVA.
When they prune people.
When they was pruning people.
You go to that void before
time. Man, is that what is? Damn, that's gonna bug me now. You right?
Yeah, it's gonna mess with me. I ain't gonna even
because I want to call it the Cancer Verse, but it's not that. That's something separate. You ever heard of that? The Cancer. That's in the comics.
Yeah,
it's not that though. It's
that's a deep storyline right there, boy.
Yeah, woo.
Yeah,
we get on that one day. But So
man, that's a deep story.
Captain Marvel and the original and shit. Yeah,
yeah,
bunch of people in there, a bunch of stuff in there, right? Yeah, we're gonna open it up one day. But so yeah, it could be a lot of things, man. But the blip and the snap and all that event, everything sort of just revolves and continues to flow around that. But you can't it can't be ignored. And no matter how powerful a being, these higher beings are, they notice that, like, man, that shit happened. The Eternals knew that shit. Like, the Eternals was in the Eternal movie, like that convinced old girl to save humanity. Like, damn, they actually brought them back. Like, they love each other that much.
Yeah.
Again, it's gonna sound like I'm shooting bell to Eternals. Man, that dumbass movie, but again, that was her whole point. Was like, man,
no, for real, that's a real thing.
Yeah, like they cared enough that they actually figured out a way to bring everybody back that was lost, right? So,
like,
these gods,
she went left. I didn't mean to cut you.
No.
She went left. Like, seeing that happen, like, they brought everybody back. They did all that.
Right.
She was there with the cause until that happened.
Yep. If something like that, if the snap is that strong to compel a being of the Eternal's power to turn against a even higher being of a celestial, of course, I think this Khonshu and these guys, I met these guys, these Egyptian gods. I think it's the same thing. Like, it had an effect on them. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was behind these past events that led to what we're looking at now. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, like, if it played a part.
So that answer's kind of like, and we kind of touched on it. Another thought that I had, but now that I kind of want to change this question, because one of my things was, we kind of talked about it. What has happened that made Steve strong enough to be an interference now, right? He's an interference identity, right? Mm-hmm. And we but now talking about the blip, it could easily be that, right? They don't really have to go that deep, right? It could easily be that,
right?
So my question is, I actually think that's what it is. Something like that happened, right? It had to be blip related, where it could be Mom's got blipped, Pops got, all this stuff.
I think Mom's got blipped, bro. Yeah, or Mom's died during the blip.
Something to that effect. Mom's right? Something happened. Like, it could be as a result of the blip. Like, really nothing we watched on these shows.
Because remember,
outside of What If, I think every show has been blip, something result of the blip.
Yeah, related, right?
Everything. Except for What If.
Because remember, bro, helicopters and shit was crashing into buildings. Like, people died because of the blip and it can never come back.
Yeah, they died.
Like, I'm sure airplane pilots just blipped out, and then who gonna fly the plane? Plane can't land it without a pilot. So
them people done.
Them people done, even though they was left behind. So I think that's
they couldn't bring Natasha back.
Couldn't bring Natasha back.
She was gone for real. So let me ask you this question. So let's go with that. I actually think that's what it's going to be. But my question to you is, would you be upset if that's what it is?
Man, yeah, because I feel like I'm gonna be upset.
Upset. I'm being extra, but you get what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. Disappointed. Like, I think I'm headed towards some form of disappointment. I want to be optimistic, but I think I'm headed towards a conclusion that I'm not going to be 100% satisfied with. But that's okay. That's not like the end of the world either. Because if I get if the show, I get a good show, but yeah, I will be a little bit.
Look up and they say once they go to the background and be like, what has happened? I'm really speaking specific to, like you say, now we got the situation with Mark, we got the situation with Steven, right? And then I think they're gonna introduce someone else, right? Someone else is coming because we already know it's always.
I think we already seen them, like you said.
Three anyway, right? Right. It's way more, but like if you know a little bit about Moon Knight, there's three, right? The Jake, the taxi driver guy, the Jake guy, right?
You're gonna get the normal guy who's not quirky like Steve, but not super serious like Mark. He's just
Not a
like he's a
mercenary.
regular guy. He probably going to have a New York accent or something. Like he's gonna. Oscar Isaac is good enough to pull off a lot of. You know, what I mean, he got
he dope.
He got range. So it'll probably be some city guy. You know what I mean, like some Boston guy or something. You know, like some Bostonian or something.
Like sports or some shit like that.
Like Joey from the docks. Like, you know what I mean, like some. Yeah, he gonna be one of those guys. Yeah, so. Yeah,
where he ain't got control. Like we can get, but just like I said, that makes so much sense about the blip, man. Like I said, we probably don't got to go too far on that one, but like I think I would be, as I sit here right now, depending on how they tell it, right? That if they can tie the traumatic event to the blip, but who it was because of the blip. You get what I'm saying? Like if it was more like you say in that situation, she was in the plane, right? She was in this. She was in that. Something happened, and then because of the raw of the blip that happened, now I don't have control like I had. I already had to fake create these personalities. Then they became the personalities for real, right? Once I got triggered, something like that. It was the blip was what started all that. As long as they tell it right now, the lazy way, right? Because this is the first thing that's a new. We talked about this last time. That it's a new story. It's not been part of the MCU before, where like all the other stuff we can be. I call them commercials, but ultimately they were part of it before. Even the introduction of a new character was on the heels of a story that was already in place.
Exactly.
This is the first thing is new, and it's like, okay, we're going.
It seems to not have sprung off something that we're fully aware of, right?
Like we're gonna go right back into that, but just depends on how they do it. I think right now, if I told you today, tell you the truth, if it becomes that, I'm a little salty. I'm hating. I'm on the next episode. I'm on the next, and they do it like episode 4 or 5, and then it's the finale. Yeah, I'm cooking them.
And because they playing with our time already. B like the whole Layla introduction, and then all this stuff with her, which plays into the theory that it's probably gonna. I'm telling you, man, she's gonna end up. She's gonna be somebody, man, because unless you just wasted time, you just wasted all this time doing all this stuff with her. Because this whole moment with her holding up the scarab, and then her whole introduction was like, okay, who are you?
Like, what's more of her backstory now? Like in terms of like purpose, because the best moments of the show are, and they dope, but that part, the part between him and himself,
that's the dopest part of this episode.
And him and Hulk, him and Arthur.
Yeah,
those moments right there are the best. They could just do that, right? Have some shit, but like we don't, like, because you already got enough with him and himself.
Yeah, because
he had a third him. Whew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and even
enough right there.
When Mr. Knight showed up, it was like, because it was such a, it's a dynamic with him and Moon Knight, right? Like Mr. Knight and Moon Knight are two different, and that was his guy, his superhero.
That was what I call it. It was his. I had it in the note. It was like his. I actually want to know now, but it was him. It was like his self-preservation thing that he had when he had to dig for something.
Yeah,
he was able to get, which is dope that he was ever like.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if they're gonna ask that question. If like, how was he able to get? Is it the body or is it we'll call it the soul? But like, is it Mark that got it, or could anybody that's under that can pull something out? Right, like they had that ability to have, because they even gave him strength. Remember when he bent the bender?
Yeah,
like he had obviously he didn't die when he fell because he hit his head on the damn light pole, dropping, hit the ground to the superhero landing.
They go back to what you said about Harold. Like, no, I'm just saying, like, life, your life, is your life extended? Is your, do you live longer than you usually do? Because it's obviously transforming. Like you said, it's making them stronger. Pretty sure you can.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like
they call it supernatural.
Yeah,
got that action.
That's interesting, man. And you're right. The question is, what is Moon Knight? Because I'm wondering, is Moon Knight Conchu, like it is, or is Moon Knight like? Because you brought up that's a great part of great point, great thing you called it, self preservation, right? Is Moon Knight self preservation from Steve and Mark, or Mark, or is Moon Knight Conchu?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
is that his way of doing it? Because he's like, you're my avatar, you're my connection to this world. But when shit go down, am I giving you this suit? Can I give this suit to anybody, or is this just, or do I just give you power and then you come up with your own self-preservation?
Conjure it.
However, yeah, you can't you create yourself. You create your weapons, and and Mark being a mercenary guy, you know what I mean? I know about Egyptian and my Steve personality, he know about Egyptian history, so I'm gonna be a mummy with a hood. Or is that just Conchu?
Is that a representation? Is that an image of Conchu, or is that what Mark unearthed?
Exactly. Like, is
that
that
what he unearthed? That was what his depiction of it was. That's what he used to, and maybe even the powers. Like, you kind of, it's like a canvas, and you make that what you need it to be.
You make it what you need to be. That's see. So it's again, we got enough here. We got enough, right? You don't need to bait and switch me. This is good enough. This whole dichotomy with these characters, right? Between these two characters, just these two characters alone. Now you're gonna throw in a third. Cool. So I don't know what the third gonna look like, but this alone is interesting. This alone is interesting because it's like even this character right here, even Mr. Knight, like you see the split in his helmet, in his mask or whatever. Like, he got a suit on. Because it looks like what they did was, because they wanted to make, again, this goes back to the writing, right? I think they did this. The reason they made Steve such a sniveling little coward is because they wanted to make sure that, because Marvel got this way of, and just writing in general nowadays, they got this way of tearing down the main character to build other characters up, usually female characters, and Layla. So they wanted Layla to save Steve, because if Steve is true to the source material of the comic book, he's supposed to be a billionaire, right? Like a millionaire, like
Yeah.
rich guy, right?
He the one. He had to. What he made that character so he can fund his Moon Knight activities.
Yeah,
He had to have a legitimate front from his mercenary stuff.
Right. And they was like that. They I guess, and I understand, like, for a bunch of reasons, you can just be like, that we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, it was the Batman thing, right?
Yeah,
Supposedly that's their thing, the Batman thing. Yeah.
You're gonna compare it to Batman, and so they like, we're not gonna do that. So we're just gonna make him just a complete coward.
So far left.
So that we then can build up Layla. And then Mark can just play his part. And then also Mark is, we can show Mark is strong, because it wouldn't have made sense if, in the time frame if you got two characters who are like more of like a linear, like a.
That begs the question then. Why is it until at this time, we in 2022, they can't figure that part out? You get what I'm saying? Like, you figure they have enough practice to be like, whereas like you don't have to make such a weak male character to make the woman strong. And then if the woman or have such a strong male character, like example, and I always use this.
Sorry.
I think even Pitch brought it up with Thor, right? Jane Foster's a genius, but they just show her as some ditzy little. You get what I'm saying? Like, it really wasn't necessary. They never got to the point. Yeah. She the Jane Foster theory in the portal. They even said it at the end. Like, I understand maybe in Avengers they couldn't put her in there because it's probably gonna cost more to have Jane than to have. Let's just talk about budget for all those people. It was gonna be less for my man.
Oh yeah, Natalie Portman Price was up there. Yeah.
She's
like, I did things. I've had a career,
her to get her in Avengers just to be a part of that. So I can see that might have been a cost thing, but ultimately, when you break it down, like every time they put her in those movies, it's like, why is it hard to show Thor and then show what she's strong at.
Right.
Because even when she's strong at it, she's ditzy, right? But then you'll go to this and you'll have, okay, we're gonna make the Steven character, but for this, we're gonna make him even if you're trying to show a lore to Mark, but ultimately, when you make them you making them that low to make somebody else look, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems like I don't seem like you gotta do that, but it's like that's a template. That's a template that you have to do.
Yeah. They did that with Loki, right? Like you had to,
they instantly turned that Loki into a sucker,
into a straight sucker. Like this
that dude,
this motherfucker took over Asgard, bro. Like he had that
just
potential.
Happened to him. That just happened to him.
He literally, man. This dude was. He was like Thor's equal, you know, just intellect. Like he just didn't do it the physical way. He wasn't his physical equal, but he was. You know, like he was a genius. Like he was smarter than Thor, though. He was more clever than Thor. And he was
and at that time, he had a glorious purpose.
He had
like the guy that pulled away
exactly
had a glorious purpose. And then like in 20 seconds, he was
this was him at his most ambitious. The man wanted to take over a world, his own. He came in as a conqueror of worlds. He was about to take over the planet. I think in the What If universe he did, didn't he? Or one of them. I don't know.
When he showed up, that's when wasn't that the one where somebody not Lang, but Hank Pym was that was the one where he was taking everybody out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one where he was taking everybody out. But Asgard was his.
They just proceed to destroy this character. Yeah. You know what I mean? And Loki, they just proceed to destroy this character. But here come also ambitious female Loki, who has this mission that she's on, but it's like they couldn't be equal. It was like no. Loki, you need to learn from her, and you need to recognize how brilliant she is. It's just I don't know, man. They wasted so much time just on that little scene in the flat. I'm just sitting there like, why are we wasting time on this, man?
Yeah, I'm wondering because we don't even need to see now going forward. I got one more question. It's a silly one, but like we don't even need to see anything forward about what. Okay, we know that so we have the story now.
Yeah,
he wanted a divorce to keep you out of harm's way.
Right, we got that.
Right, now only thing we can get is this backstory about this expedition, but I guess we're gonna have you around to tell that. But I think, like you say, bait and switch, and that's the part because just one thing, just put that in the front, the headline like that, because that's not a good lead into me. Like, oh, that's the part. That's what I was really trying to get to. I was trying to get to her being.
I wasn't. You wasn't.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that, like no, this Moon Knight, like, dude, like this Moon Knight. You don't have to do it that way because she can get it, but she ain't she probably is a slightly thanger. We're gonna really see about her, but ultimately, it's not like she was a compelling character. It's not like they dropped Maximoff in that bitch.
They don't even give you a chance for that shit, right? They didn't see. That's the thing, like, and that's what separates a Joss Whedon from everybody else. As big of a dickhead that he is, balls and shit, like. That motherfucker's a brilliant writer, man. Like he give you, bro. He didn't have to shit on Thor and shit on Captain America and Tony all at the same time to build up Natasha.
Yeah, 100%.
He didn't have to do that.
She didn't lose hers.
She didn't lose nothing. She come in. Her introduction. She come in. The dude's got her tied up. She's like, this idiot was about to give me like. You know, right away, it clicks right away. Like, damn, she's a beast.
It was believable.
Lazy writer,
right? It was balanced out. That's a perfect. Okay, I didn't have an example.
He did it again.
He did it again.
He did it again with Scarlet Witch, right?
Yeah.
100%. She didn't have to shit on her brother. Her brother didn't have to be like, oh. You know, when I get to when I run too fast, I always bump my head, and she's like, oh, like here, I'll fix you, idiot. Like no, they were equal, right? This motherfucker, I'm fast, you weird.
That's a damn good point. So I didn't have one in the holster, but the Natasha to the Scarlet, when she was just what they call her? I forgot her name already.
Who? Black Widow? Oh no, you talking Maximoff.
Because they wasn't calling her Scarlet at that time, but ultimately it was never a situation. I never looked at them as weak, and they didn't have to take anybody down to build them up.
Never.
Tasha was a badass walking in. She was a badass in fucking Iron Man. They didn't have to kill Tony to make.
They kind of did it in that, right? They kind of did it in that because they made it like, dumb men, you know what I mean? Pretty woman, you know what I mean?
But that shit.
They kind of like made her like,
like some eye candy or something.
Yeah, I'm eye candy, but I'm whooping ass too. And then she came in.
No, you're right. Those are good points, man. I can say, but we'll see, man. I hope. I'm really not looking forward to a situation that she's donning the suit. I hope that don't happen because it don't. Look. It don't go. It don't seem like that go. It don't go at all. It's not what if Moon Knight.
But we didn't come for that, right?
No, it's stupid
because it's like we keep doing this, man, and it's like we did it. We did it with, bro. You can argue they made a whole fucking first Ant-Man movie just to get the Wasp up there, bro. Like. We keep doing this where we like, because the thing is, they don't believe in a female, like, it's hard to, all right, so like, they don't, remember, they know they can't just come out and sell us like, Moon Knight, there's going to be a Moon Knight show, but it's going to be a female lead. No, they can't do that. So, oh man, this is what I hope don't happen, right? But this is typical of like Hollywood right now and the MCU, right? I'm hoping because remember, money talk, bullshit, run the parade. Man, I'm hoping to God we don't have a situation because Oscar Isaac costs some money, bro. Oscar Isaac is not some scrub of an actor. He not a leading man per se, like to where he can demand like outrageous price, but he does want to do other shit. Like he might want to do other shit. You know what I mean? Like he might want to do other movies. And who knows if he learned from Star Wars, like, man, don't ever tie yourself to a studio like that again. You know what I mean? And I'm going not to go off.
They got some interviews with him. They asked like, "Would you?" And he cut him off like, "Nope."
Man, listen. Nope. We'll fuck around, man, and I hope this ain't a one-off, bro. I'm just saying, bro. I'm hoping it's not a one-off, and I'm hoping he don't come in here and do a run on Moon Knight, die at the end, and the girl take over like, no, I'm Moon Knight. I hope that's not it. You know what I mean? I hope he don't come in and just because that'll be a way. That's because again, they can't just sell us on a. Oh yeah, we got Moon Knight in this coming to this universe. It's gonna be a woman.
And it's the messed up part about that. It's like MCU got successful with that shit. So it's like you don't even have to keep doing the stupid they really could have made like think about it. Black Panther. Right. The Dora Milaje dope as hell. It was Black Panther, the Dora Milaje. Yep. We all know they dope. He dope. And then they could have made a Wakandan. They making the movie, but they really could have did a Wakandan. And we know it ain't no bait and switch. The Wakandans. Right. Or that make it sound like a sitcom, but you get what I'm saying? Like
a
Wakanda. We know what we walking into.
Yep.
We know what it's gonna be. Yeah, you could have just did the Dora Milaje show. You could have did what we getting in. Like this shit is successful as hell. Like so, like you say, the bait and switch, because there's a couple of them they pull like look, it's on me if I want to be whatever I want to be for Ms. Marvel that's coming out or She-Hulk or whatever, if I want to be a pig about it or if I want to be this, but I know what I'm walking into when it ain't no shock. Like, well, why don't they have more Bruce Banner in this? Like, no, because it's called She-Hulk.
Right.
Like I know what I'm getting into.
Yeah, I know what I'm getting. You sold me from the beginning.
I know what I'm getting into. Right. So, like you say, when I got into Loki, then it became evident that the real Loki was her. Right? You
She's
get what I'm
Loki.
saying? He was the star. She was the real Loki. Hell, she even wanted to put the blade in my man. She might mess around and show up in Doctor Strange or something. She was the real Loki, right? Like you could have okay. We introduced it. I kind of thought that's what they were going to do with the TV shows, and they didn't have to do the. I guess they had to do what they had to do, thinking they had to get people to come on. But all that, like I said, I just hope. I say all that to say this. I hope that's not what they do. They want to have. If she get a second, like they were, even though they fired old girl, but old girl have killed it so much in Mando that she was going to have her own show.
And thank you. That's the perfect example. See the difference, right? That's a writer who knows how to write female characters. Dave Filoni, Ahsoka Tano, Cara Dune. Man, who you want to talk about a show that got some of the dopest female characters?
They was all set up properly, right? Oh my goodness.
That's bro, they was all in the same room, and that's all Dave Filoni. Fennec Shan. What's the girl? Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
All dope, all can stand on their own. They didn't have to tear anybody down, even though they had that stupid ass scene where the girl, like, again, and they just threw her in there, like with a girl like DDT fucking Boba Fett into the table. That was the dump. That was like that was their one moment where you like, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna launch a show with this man, and guess what? The show didn't work because you fucking DDT'd him in the last episode of Mando. Again, whenever you do that, you end up hurting. It always goes. It never works out. Whenever you shit on your main character, you can't then launch a show with that character. Can't do it. But anyway, I'm just showing the difference between Filoni and other writers. They don't have to do that. They don't have to play that game, and they don't have to bait and switch you. He built up Cara Dune in 2 seasons so much that they was ready to give her own show.
And it made sense.
And it would have made sense. Republic Rangers.
Yeah, it made
everybody's gonna tune into that.
Oh my goodness.
With no man, and really you didn't have to have Mando in there either.
No, she was gonna get she was carrying that on her own. Like that made too much sense.
She was gonna be in there punching, kicking people.
They take too long for the Bo-Katan. Everybody like Bo-Katan. Like she's already, get what I'm saying? Like
she dope as hell.
She dope as hell. That's a really good point. It's like there's a blueprint out there. I just don't get why in these situations, like why, especially they're really doing it to us right now with these shows. But we saying after 2 episodes, we'll revisit that because they may not be the case.
Yeah. And I didn't want to get too negative on it, man. Like you said, it did have some good parts. Overall, it was a good episode.
I do think the weakest thing
the pacing kind of slowed down.
The way they brought her in, because I don't even know how you put that toothpaste back in the tube, because like I really still don't see her purpose other than telling us the filling in the blanks. So like you say, the exposition queen. Like I really don't understand. She don't seem like, unless like they would have already kind of told what happened and then introduced, like he was trying to get back to her because of, if we already knew kind of the backstory of why he became, if that was the reason he needed to get back, I get that. But like her just showing up on the scooter and now they're gonna go on adventures, and really I think now it's almost like Steve gonna come to have her the way it's set up. You gotta have Steve.
Yeah.
Get what I'm saying? Like you gotta bring Steve back in for her. You can't have her and Mark doing these things.
Yeah.
Right. It don't just make sense, but we'll see. We'll see. I got one last thing about that.
Go ahead.
Who the hell pulled up on that girl then got the date? Mark married. If we're just going by like a good dude, Mark married.
Right.
Steven don't know what day of the week it is.
That's a good ass question. And unless that's just a throwaway, which they don't really do throwaways in a 6-episode show, you hope they wouldn't. But that's a good question, and I thought the exact same thing. Because once I saw Mark and how committed he was, because it makes no sense. Why would Mark have a date? Mark ain't just, bro. Mark seems like he's very specific and to the point on the time that he gets in control of the body. He's not going on dates. Mark's not going on a date. Who went on that date? I don't think it was Mark, because Mark, like you said, Mark is married, and Mark be out doing shit.
He be doing shit.
Conchu related.
Steak kind of guy. Like he can sit down and enjoy a steak.
No, this was some. That's
These
a good
MREs and
theory.
shit.
I think it was somebody else.
Hey man, I think that's like that's like for this third, and I was like, oh, who the fuck pulled up on no girl there?
Because remember, we see at the end, he was like out. He was like on the side of the bed. Looked like we don't know what he was doing. He
Something
might have
got
been
clapped. It
slaying.
looked like.
You know what I mean? He might have just slayed. You know what I mean? He in Egypt. He in some nice hotel room overlooking the pyramids. Hey man, he might have just not. He might have took something down. You know what I mean? I think there's a third. There's a third personality, I think, and that's a good question, man. Who the hell went on that date? Because unless this is a throwaway, why would Mark go on a date? It serves no purpose, right? Because
I don't know, man. Like
what's
you
the
say,
purpose?
who, like you said, unless that's just a random thing, we gonna look back like, what the hell was like? Nah, that's if it don't seem like something Mark would do. What we know about Mark, just the way his day go. Nah, it couldn't be. We saw his cotton and thing that's not Mark.
Nah,
It's not Mark that did
yeah,
that.
Mark
Mark probably
sleeping
ain't
in
no.
a storage facility.
Yeah, Mark take over the body.
Yeah,
Mark end up he in Asia somewhere. Once Mark get the body, he got somewhere to go. He getting summoned now, as opposed to like just living a life, right? He even told Steven like, "Hey, once I finish this, you ain't gonna never see me again. Like I get to go ahead and rest."
Mark got a mission. Yeah,
yeah. I'm just trying to finish this one last one that ain't really one last one.
That's why he got a divorce, because he like, you never gonna see me. He told her like, you never see me again. We getting a divorce. That way you safe. You ain't gonna never come after me. I'm gonna be gone because Steve ain't gonna take over. Yeah, you're right, man. Mark trying to get out of there. Mark trying to be done.
Yeah, so I just wondered that, man. Who was the one? It got to be the third person. It can't be none of them two.
Yeah,
but it could be just a throwaway. We like left to wonder. Like
might be
we get to watch on YouTube. People make 75 videos about who went on the date. But
my date. Yeah,
I want to know that one now.
Eric
Like,
Boss out here. Who went on that date? But yeah, because it don't make sense. It serves no purpose for Mark to go on the date, unless she was somehow connected to some information he needed. Yeah, it makes no sense. So I think it was the third personality. I think we're gonna, because what is it? 6 episodes, right? So
6 episodes.
we're gonna get to that third personality next episode.
And we done probably I think by this time, I think everything that was in the trailers, sans maybe like 1 or 2 screenshots, we done seen in the first 2 episodes. I think they've been sneaking out some like screenshots of like some of the adventures they've been on, but even with us, we don't know who on that adventure with Layla, like who's out there with her. But ultimately, like a lot of the stuff we synced, we saw it in those early trailers. So looks like, I guess the one thing that's good about this, and we hopefully we went on some theories or whatever, but hopefully like we wrong, because this shit can go anywhere at this point in time. Like it's always things you can point out, but like really where the story go, like we don't know who the hell was that in Egypt. We don't know who he was with, because we don't even know if it was Layla. Like it might have been Layla who was. We have no idea.
You think he took Layla to Egypt with him?
Nah, but we see her in and out though. But if you see some stills from she's out
there, right?
Nah, she just following them because she said, "I'm tracking the phone, all that shit." You think Mark would know that by now? Like, nah, that phone shit, that phone mistake was Steve. That wasn't me. But she out there somewhere, so it could have been
her. Right. She's very resourceful. I mean,
I think we're gonna learn about her and her father coming up. I think that's gonna be like that's gonna be a thing.
I think she's Egyptian. They're gonna use.
I think she is for real too, like in the real life.
Yeah, what's the country?
I watched something and they were talking about that. Like, no, that's.
We look up this country.
I've
heard of it, but I don't have no idea. I have no idea, no concept of people from this country. So,
I see that.
Bahrain, yeah. So where is?
Father's Egyptian, the mother's Palestinian. She was born in. Y'all know Bahrain?
Oh, Bahrain.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard that before.
I've heard it before. I can't. Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, she's bilingual and speaks fluent Arabic and English.
Say it's in. Okay. Wow. There you go.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So
all right, man,
yeah,
we'll see what happened in episode 3.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I think we got to face facts. Like, just we've now, got to the point where we can kind of predict where these things are going. We were way more optimistic in the first episode, and again, 2 episodes in, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm not like, I'm not I'm still on board, you know what I mean? We start to get an idea, like, okay, I'm still happy that we're not just dropping obvious clues about the connection to the rest of the universe. I think we'll start seeing some connections with these gods, man. And I do think, the theories floating around out there about the Wakandan god, the Panther god being connected. Yeah, Boss is gonna be in there, man. I think that's gonna be a thing, and this might be.
I think we go directly into the Black Panther. Or
That's my question. That's my question.
My bad. I ain't mean to cut you.
No. We're gonna segue off what you just said because listen, given the inevitable conclusion, okay, and let's hope that this isn't a commercial, right? I don't think we can classify it as that, but ultimately, what do you think? Maybe this might be a question maybe we ask a little bit closer to the end, but what do you think this is going to feed into eventually? Like, because all these shows feed into a larger movie.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because we look at listen, if you're seeing the trailers now for Multiverse of Madness and you haven't ever seen What If or WandaVision, you lost on a lot of stuff, right? Because those 2 shows
It shocked me.
And really, that show and those episodes are huge, like feeders to Multiverse of Madness. This show is going to be a feeder to something. What direction do you think we're going here? Are we going cosmic? Or are we going street level, Daredevil, Defenders, you know what I mean, type, or Hawkeye types? Or are we going Wakanda? Where do you think we're going with this?
So I think it's 2 parts, right? I think cinematically, instantly, right? Because they always have to have a bridge, right? Mm-hmm. It just is what it is. I get that, right? I think we're going 2 ways, right? I think we're going directly into Wakanda. I think we're going, but I think seeds are getting planted. What do they call that? The whole Moon Knight, Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider, Blade, that kind of, they got a name.
Yeah, the Dark Stalkers. You had the Dark Stalkers, and you had the Midnight.
That one, the Midnight.
Yeah,
I think
Morbius was in that too. So
I think we land some seeds. For that, right? I think it's seeds are getting laid for that. I think cinematically, especially with because I think even people break it down and everybody if you're going about the gods and all this and all that, but then you have the MCU depiction of the gods, right? Mm-hmm. And and I think Bost is like in ways she's sonning some of these other ones, like Ahmed and all of them. They son they her son, right? So there's those kind of connections, but I think in some way, shape, or form this leads into, and we only see it mystically, and I think that's a. And that was one of the point I was going to break up. I don't think we're going because they throw that out like cosmic and all this and all that. I think we've been there, right? Mm-hmm. I think we in more of the realm, and maybe that's part of the under cosmic, like realm super. I think we going to touch because even when you get into the Blade and all that kind of when you get into the Midnight, we get more into the supernatural kind of.
That's where right.
When I think we going heavy in, it may just be the shows, and then ultimately they get into a movie.
Yep.
but I think like kind of how like the Netflix stuff was like all street level. They all were like that, all in New York. I think some of the things we're going to get is going to be at that level with this, like not street level, but I mean all realm, all supernatural.
And that signs to the Black Knight and Blade and all.
Yeah.
I think we're going to end up. Yeah, I think we there.
I could see this, but I think this is going directly. They just finished up with filming up Wakanda, PP2. Now everything. I think everything hinges on what we see.
Man, I got a theory for that motherfucker. Yeah, we're gonna say that for Theory Expo, but yeah, I got a theory for Black Panther 2. And I hope it's true, but it's probably not. Yeah, but because it's a way they can have another Black Panther, but we'll lean into that once we do Theory Expo. But yeah, that's a good point, man. I'm with you. And what you brought up a good point earlier, which kind of convinced me. Now, what you're saying, absolutely, because about the color scheme and about that being, that first being seen in Black Panther, like, which tells me, like you said, she's like the queen of these gods, she's the overseer, you know what I mean? So for her to be sunning all these other gods, I think that ties into that's like their main power source, and that color I think is similar because they all using that same like type of power, and they all come from that similar realm of existence. So that's why we recognize it. And like you said, we about to start. We're gonna go right into Wakanda, and wouldn't be surprised if Moon Knight pop up in there, man. If Moon Knight pop up, like, hey, I can help you with that,
and or if one of them pop up.
Yeah,
in this,
like,
because somebody gonna pop up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a post credit where somebody gonna come in at the end, like, I always knew that this power would get out of control or something, and take the scarab or whatever,
Outside of Wanda, where they pulled the fast one on us where they popped in when they popped in Boner, right? Pause. But realistically, everyone has had like a connected pop in, right? At some point, like even if you want to, Sharon showed up. Hell, they even went to. But I think Zemo was already. We knew Zemo was in it, but Sharon showed. I think we knew Sharon, but like, dude,
we had a
but the Wakandan showed up, and I guess the Wakandan show up, right? The Dora Milaje showed up. Yep. They showed up, and then I don't think Loki might not have had nothing. I don't think it was a way that they really could.
Loki had, like cameos. Like Loki had the Sif show up, and Loki had
showed up, but it wasn't like
it wasn't pivotal.
Commercial. Yeah, it wasn't like that moment, like oh shit.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe I might be overthinking. I don't think that really. Now that I think about it, I think the only one that was like leading forward might have been like Hawkeye when Yelena showed up. Right.
Yeah, that was pivotal. Yeah,
like a for real substance. Like
right. Mostly all of them have had a huge step in, a huge like pop up, like you said.
The Strange was supposed to show up in WandaVision, but they cut all that stuff out.
Again, they couldn't find the balance.
Yeah, it was a balance thing, right?
Because
I think that's what they said. They didn't want him to take away from the.
That's writers.
They had going on.
Yeah, that's the difference between strong, confident writer and somebody who. Not, who's like, no, we can't tear her down, but it's like, just bright Doctor Strange, whatever. Even though now she popping up in his movie, but man, that trailer, bro. But we'll touch on that. But
we're gonna get there. Yeah, they want to touch on something. We're gonna kind of move past this. Like I said, we'll see what happened.
Yeah,
episode 3.
Yeah,
but I wanted to touch on something we haven't had a chance to touch on.
Pause. What's that?
I want to touch on something we ain't had a chance to touch on, and we got to get to it, even if it's just a little bit.
Let's get to it. And let's just cut straight to the point. We can't do it. We can do a recap.
No, we ain't doing nothing.
We ain't doing a recap because see the movie. Look. I'll give you I'll let you do your quick recommendation about the movie, and I'll just do mine just real quick. Not a recap, but just quick thoughts on the actual movie, because we know what we're really about to get to. We about to get into this post credit scene, this ridiculous ass post credit scene. But anyway, good movie. I will recommend it. Again, it seems like it suffered from pacing issues. There's a director's cut of this movie somewhere that's the movie we need to see.
Oh, that director cut probably gonna slap.
That director's cut I'm going to purchase, and I want to watch it because I like this character. I like Morbius. I like Jared Leto's Morbius. I like this version of Morbius. I think he works on his own. It's not a great movie. But the movie is it's so handicapped by its pacing and obvious by the editing room. Like they cut out pivotal scenes. This movie needs a director's cut. You know how they needed a Snyder cut. They need whoever the direct. They need the director's cut for this movie. The director's cut of this movie. That's the movie you really gonna have to judge, because what we got under 2 hours, it's not enough. And you can't. It's not a great movie. You know, it suffers from that because the pacing is breakneck. You know what I mean? You just like, all right, we on the boat now. Oh shit, you know what I mean? Oh damn, we in the forest again. And, oh no, we back in New York, and it's like, wait a minute, none of it is explained. So, but again, I'm just waiting for the director's cut. If we ever get that, I'll be really interested in that. But go ahead.
That's one of the dope things about seeing the movie after all the noise happened, because it was like, well, that's just not bad as y'all made it up to be. It's of course it's not. It's not great. Now I think it falls victim to the thing that I told you. Some of the movies that I thought I liked when I walked out, because they ended with a slap. Like, oh shit. Venom knew Spider-Man and the Imps. Oh fuck!
Yeah,
and then when I recap, like, I don't even like that movie. And some other movies that I watch, you walk out of that bitch though, like, wait, what?
Are y'all serious? Are y'all?
That's not how that worked.
Are you out of your mind? Like, did you see No Way Home?
Like, what part of it was almost like that was some shit that they didn't see, but somebody told them about, and they misinterpreted that shit.
They completely misinterpreted it. But regardless of that, like, none of it made sense. It's absolutely not. It's not even plausible within the universe of the Venomverse. So many questions. One being obvious: how the fuck did you get your damn gear back, man? How did you get Chitauri tech in this universe? Chitauri never attacked New York. Tony Stark don't exist, from what we know. He don't exist. Oscorp exists. But it's like, how did you, what?
How do we know Oscorp? It was in the first Venom?
We don't know, to be honest, because they took it out. But I would assume that Oscorp exists, because I don't know.
But once they said Spider-Man at the end, once they said Spider-Man, and I guess if we do look at a couple things, there's an Oscorp line in there, because they had a lot of little nuggets. Black Cat was in there.
I think it was a truck or something. It was something with Oscorp on it. I think I saw it in the breakdown. It was something with Oscorp on it. Maybe, but I know that the Daily Bugle exists, you know.
Yeah.
But
he said Spider-Man at the end, so if you're gonna say Spider-Man, that means Oscorp gotta be there. All that. But
even that, who the fuck is Spider-Man? That's what Morbius should be saying. Who? He's like, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And if Spider-Man exists, it was like 39 bodies between Morbius and what was his name?
And his man's Milo.
No, it was Milo. Yeah, it was like 39 bodies in the street, B. Or it was some bodies. Spider-Man he ain't investigate. Like, where was Spider-Man at? Now we can say that Spider-Man got zapped away. I guess you can. God damn it. I guess that's how you can explain it, right? Spider-Man got zapped away.
What you mean from the Doctor Strange from the Strange spell?
Spider-Man, but even then, man, come on, man. Who is Spider-Man? Because Morbius is just like, yeah, okay. Yeah. He's like, well, I'm guessing this has something to do with Spider-Man. Nigga, how did you know that? What? So,
but how does Tomb even show up in the same?
Exactly, because the spell don't work like that.
Yeah, we kept everybody. Because you went back to where you was already in that universe.
Because that becomes a, and then okay, so he ends up in the wrong universe. Now that becomes his own like not meta, but that becomes his own like crisis, right? Because now not only did the spell didn't work like the way it was supposed to work. Now we got people displaced in different universes. That can't be good for the fabric of the overall universe. That becomes his own separate problem that you kind of have to deal with. That's another separate movie where Doctor Strange done put people in the wrong universe because he fucked up the spell. You kind of like you make him look like an idiot, right? Like you kind of you detract from Doctor Strange because Doctor Strange didn't do the spell right. Even though Peter told him, like, hey man, okay, just make everybody forget. He like now we know, now we gotta look at it as, well, you fucked up because people are in the wrong universe. And then Toombs, is his name Toombs? Adrian Toombs is he just cool with it. Like, bro, then you have a daughter and a wife? No, I mean, I know you was doing fair time, like you wasn't getting out. He wasn't gonna get out in time. He was gonna die in jail, but it's like, do they come visit you? Because he just kind of was like real easy about it. Like, oh, I guess I'm getting out. I mean, man, I hope the food is better here.
The food better here.
Fam, where's your family at? Your daughter's gone. She's never gonna see you. You're never gonna see her again. She's never gonna see you again, I guess. But it's like,
and did he get a replacement tomb in his area? So this nigga sitting in the damn jail cell, like, yo, man, I was just cooking for my kids. Now, what just happened? Like, what? No, what they say, 3 hots in a cot, little homie. Chill.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, big man coming up behind him now, like, yeah, you acting real unusual, my man. What's good, B? He like, what? I was cooking for my daughter. Who are you? Man, you have to look at me. Hey, man, calm down, man. Calm down. Yo, that
because
again, right?
It creates like 8 years. Toombs was like 8 years in that scheme. Like he already knew, even though he wasn't like doing like killing people, he already knew he was living on the other side of the law. He was seasoned in criminal activity. At any point in time, he could have went to his man. They were selling weapons on the street. You get what I'm saying? Like, that Toombs was more seasoned to this one that just showed up in the MCU, who's now in the MCU. Nah, he was just making, he was just pigs in the blanket. That's it. He the Peter Pig in the blanket, looking like got a pig in his blanket paws. Like, so like the fabric of reality, like you just can't do some shit. You can't do shit like that.
You can't play around with that. That creates another problem that now has to be dealt with. Like you can't just you see what I'm saying? Like everybody suffers from that now because it makes the story look stupid. It's like, oh, well, Doctor Strange spell didn't really work the way it was supposed to work. So now you just got people in the wrong universe. Like, you sent this man to the wrong universe. He gets out. Okay, so let's just go with it, right? Because that's what they did. They just like, no, just go with it. It's like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any fucking sense. No, just go with it. So he gets out. He somehow gets his tech back. Don't know how, because there was no invasion in New York in this universe. Come on, we got it. And if it was,
you gotta have Chitauri. You gotta have the Chitauri wreckage
You got out of Jatari
That's
wreckage.
alien tech.
That's the only reason he was levitating in the air. That shit didn't exist. It didn't like they had nothing like that.
No.
That he could get his hands on. I mean, I'm pretty sure
watch the
Stark
first one. I
Tech.
gotta watch. Is it Homecoming?
Yeah.
I'm about to go watch Homecoming now. Like
they was doing all types of shit with that.
Yeah, they
Jatari
was.
Tech,
They was getting busy,
ripping ATMs out of the wall and shit, man. Like,
remember his man's had the thing on the side. And, they was pulling it off too. With
bro, they were super villains and shit off that. So it's like, so you telling me now that he somehow got the tech back, man? I don't know. It couldn't have been for Jatari Tech. It can't be Jatari Tech. It can't be. Otherwise, because that means if Jatari invaded, you don't have no Avengers in your universe. That's been stated. That's been made clear that the Avengers are not in these other Spidey verses, which means that the Jatari would have won and took over New York. Jatari would have took over the Earth. There's only like one superhero in the Spider-Man universe. In the Spider-Man, he's not gonna stop the Jatari.
Oh, he ain't fucking with
Don't care how great he is, how amazing he is, whatever. So that means that the universe would exist as like the Jatari would be there, like whatever. I'm going down a rabbit hole. What I'm saying is, so he just recapping the post credit. So that means he got the tech somehow, but he has the wherewithal. And by the way, we skipped over the whole point that he turned a new leaf somehow. I don't know when he did that. In jail? Did he do it in jail? Like, because if he did turn a new leaf, that would make him even more distraught to be in another universe, right? Like, damn, man, I was turning my life around. I was learning shit. Like, man, my daughter was like, oh, she was opening up to me again. Like, my wife. No, he just like, no, I'm good. You would think a criminal who got a new lease on life or who free now in this new universe, who gets set free, would be like, no, I'm about to go out and try to take over to New York, this version of New York. No, this motherfucker say, you know, I'm thinking, some guys like us should get together and do some good. What? What? Why? My bad. I'm screaming into the mic. But why? Be like, why? Why? For what? To what end? For what purpose? Yeah, man. I seen you. First of all, you somehow. This is the most wanted man in New York right now. If Spider-Man is back from the little snap or whatever, or the cracks, if Spider-Man is back, he's looking for Morbius now. Like somebody talking to Spider-Man like, hey man, listen man, while you were gone, man, we had 18 deaths in the last 2 weeks. He like, all right, I'm on it.
And this is us banking that this Venom verse that we in right now, is one of those other two guys. It could be we could be in what's my guy? Miles. We could be in Miles universe. We could be in all kinds of other Peter. There's a Peter Parker somewhere.
Oh man, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like there's a Peter Parker somewhere who putting in work. He own Morbius ass right now.
He own him. He's like, I gotta find this guy, man. This guy, I don't know what this dude capable of. He don't understand. He don't know shit about the that he had to kill Milo and all this, and he don't know. He just know that, look, man, people died. I'm trying to keep my city safe.
The only thing that might be saving them is I think they're in San Francisco. I think even this movie was in San Francisco. Just looking at those buildings, they didn't really establish that, but I think because of the buildings,
you might be right, bro. No, but don't they mention San Francisco? Don't they say because they reference like Venom,
they definitely did.
They like, it's not like that thing that happened
in San Francisco. Yeah, I need to know.
I'm hearing something. text somebody. But yeah, it's like I'm confused. I'm like, how do we? I just So he's like, yeah. I just thought that. I'm figuring that this has something to do with Spider-Man. How do you know that? How did you even come to that conclusion? Yeah. I mean, now, granted, you can. I guess you can because you saw on the news that it was this whole thing about Spider-Man fighting on the roof. Even and I guess his memory would have been erased too. He don't know Peter Parker anymore. He just know that Spider-Man. He's in jail because of Spider-Man, right? He don't know that it was Peter Parker, and Peter Parker was dating his daughter, and he just know I'm in jail because of Spider-Man. And Spider-Man was fighting in New York. He was fighting on the Statue of Liberty, and it was cracks in the. Okay, this is why I'm here. All right, so I get that part. But for him to say, yeah, I just think that some guys like us can do some good. That's just like, what?
And he just coming off like cool. But Manny, if a guy shows up in an empty jail cell, so now mind you, we already done. Now we now, to even get to the point where we like, yo, Strange spell was fucked up, right?
Yeah.
So we got to brush past that. Like, no, you know what? His spell fucked up. It didn't just erase some shit. It pulled people from where they weren't supposed to be, right? To where they. So now we established that. If we're establishing that we shouldn't even be, but we're doing it. Now we at a point where we got a guy shows up in a jail cell that he ain't supposed to be in. Like, this jail cell's supposed to be empty. And you just release him. So we're not wondering how he got in there.
Nope. Nobody's asking that.
So we don't need no astrophysicists and no science. We're not looking for Jane Foster. We're not looking for Selvig. We're not trying to figure out people got through, but shit like that don't happen over here. Yeah. Even though we got a Venom.
Yeah,
we got a Venom.
Monster.
Yeah, we got a Venom. We got a Morbius. But this kind of stuff don't happen. So we just gonna go ahead and let him go and not think about anything else. Even though he was wearing jail clothes.
Yeah.
So he wasn't in a fit.
He's a prisoner somewhere.
Yeah, he wasn't in a fit. He ain't have a snapback on. He ain't have his. He was in a jail outfit. He had the orange joints on.
Yep.
I don't even know if he had that. I can't.
Right.
He might have
had. He had the striped joints on. Yeah.
With a little orange up under it. But at the end of the day,
was a prisoner.
He had jail attire. Ended up in jail.
Yeah.
So we didn't do a thing where we wondered. It might be one hell of a director's cut out there, bro. For them to think they could slide that in there, even that might have got cut. You get what I'm saying? Because,
even the post cred took a hit, right?
Like that shit might have got cut. Like
you would think.
Because Feige got an answer for that sometime soon. Hey, Feige, man, you did the whole No Way Home thing. What the hell was that, man? I don't know what they do. And you got relationships because you probably want to do more Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, he got to.
They're going to answer for that. Like
they gotta continue this thing. I mean, bro, you gotta. Because that creates a problem for your universe.
Yeah.
Because now Doctor Strange is a terrorist. There should be another Strange coming after him for fucking up a spell that put people in other realities.
I hope they don't start this fucking movie talking about, hey man, your spell didn't work. Like, please, look what it did. Like, I'm cool if they walk like, hey man,
there's gonna be Spider-Man in this movie though. Right?
You think so?
Bro, it's Raimi, bro. There wouldn't be no Spider-Man without Raimi.
Oh, I was trying to shut my brain off of that one, man. I don't even want to take that shit there, man.
Whether it's Peter, whether it's Toby.
I don't even want them to fuck with me like that.
It's got to be Toby though, because he has no.
It got to be Tobes.
Yeah, he has no ties to the other.
I think they tried to get him the other day. You know, they asked him about Toby.
Yeah, he gonna be in it.
Oh man, don't mess with me like that, bro.
Yeah. So
he.
You right? Oh, now, but right, you just said it though, because now they gotta do that. Like, wait a minute, did you just see that? Did you just see this shit they did with Morbius? They like, man, Feige might be like, man, do something because it is a problem.
That's a problem, man.
That's a problem. And now you gotta have somebody come in and be like, by the way, your spell didn't,
If it start off with fucking Peter coming through a portal, like, hey man, you fuck shit up.
Do you know where I ended up?
Hey man, look at this shit, man.
look at my costume, man.
I was fucked up over here, man. We got all kind of shit. I seen Thanos.
Yeah, I don't even know how to stop. I don't have any.
I got some
Tony Stark
over here, man. What's crazy over here, bro? Some scrolls. This shit wasn't like this before, man. I was kicking it with my daughter and my fucking Mary Jane. If the movie start off like that, I'm gonna die, man. But I'm gonna be salty. Like, man, they really was going through. They really made this. Like, you really did that?
Yeah,
you gonna add that element in this movie that you fucked up? Now, not that you did too many spells that you wasn't supposed to do, or whatever it is, but that you fucked it up.
He literally did the one thing that he's sworn to protect, right? You fucked up realities, B. You put people, you displaced people.
So what is your job? Toy. No, it's protecting reality, douchebag.
Protect the reality, right, douchebag. But he's done everything except that.
Oh,
since he's came back. You literally fucked up reality by giving the stone to Thanos. If Thanos took that shit, it was like,
yo, he did some pause shit too when he put the damn shit in. That nigga was there to doing porn when he put the shit on. Like,
nigga was crumping when he got it.
Oh man,
it was good. You know what I mean? Like, so
if look, man, if Toby in this movie, dude, I'm seeing it the first freaking day. I got tickets for the first day. If I think I even got the first show.
Oh, man. I'm gonna see it. Yeah.
If I see first that week. Shit,
because he got to deal with that though, right? Because
if so, I'll know instantly unless it leak out quick. If Toby in that movie, and honestly, if any Spider-Man is in that movie, but if it's Toby, they dealing with the fact that his spell fucked up and they snuck that shit in the damn Morbius movie,
man. Because
like, so that shit was real. That was real.
Yeah.
Oh, that shit was real.
That shit was real, my nigga. Because you got to deal with it. Because it's like, all right. Because that's just listen. Multiverse of Madness obviously is a bunch of shit that it's like him atoning for his sins as a sorcerer, right? And he basically it's almost like the culmination of all this shit that he did in his job, right?
Every time
yeah.
too.
Right. All this stuff is coming back to show him that, like, yeah, man, you the actual biggest threat to reality, bro. Like you. Because you such a wild card type character. You the threat, bro. And now look at this multiverse of madness you created. Yeah. So after he deals with all that, however he's going to do it, because we know he's going to come out at the end, unless they kill, this be the moment where Doctor Strange is gone, right? My phone ringing and shit, man. I gotta disconnect this shit from mine. But yeah, like it's like unless this is the movie where we say bye to Doctor Strange, which we not. He's gonna stand victorious at the end, right? We know that he's gonna come out of this thing, right? So even if he do that, if they don't deal with that shit, then that means he hasn't done it. He hasn't dealt with all his bullshit. That's just out there lingering. The fact that you put people in different realities. That's a problem.
So now we in the question of all questions. The trigger line. We just talked about this maybe a couple weeks ago. All right, could have been this week. Who the fuck knows these days? Is that shit canon, man? Yo,
it's canon for the Venomverse. Yeah, it's canon for
they gonna step up and fight. Gonna be like, man, that shit is not canon.
You in a standoff with that now, because if it's canon, then that means that you got to deal with it in the multiverse of madness.
That's some fuck shit. If
you got to deal with it, it's like
5 seconds of fucking airtime. When I go see Multiverse of Madness, if that plot line is in that, I don't even care if they. No, I'm dead serious too.
Right.
I don't even care if they don't name none of them dudes. Tombs, Morbius and shit. They ain't even got to name them. If they say, hey, man, hey, your spell, you notice that, hey, man, you got some people in Earth, 199 and people in 616, like,
nope.
Hey, yo, we don't, and they use that as logic in this movie.
Fam.
I'm like, oh, so that shit really is.
That shit happened.
Y'all allowed that to happen? Because everybody, I saw all that shit when they was like, yo, because I'm like, because I'm the guy, I'm the hater when it comes to like, everything not MCU, everything not, some things are just on this meaning. Like my thing was, this was me, because I always tell you that when I watched No Way Home, it was over. I'm not of the mind, and I feel like I'm being a dumbass thinking like this. I'm being honest. I feel like an idiot even saying this. I'm of the mind, I mean, I've been this way, thinking like, yo, the spell in No Way Home was the spell in No Way Home. He not dealing with that on its own in Multiverse of Madness. I'm thinking all that shit he been doing, because they told him in the first one, hey, yo, Strange, the bill comes due.
Yeah, great.
They always come due. That's a credible line. Like, man, all that shit. He wasn't supposed to do that, and he wasn't supposed to do that in his first movie.
He fucked up from the beginning.
That bullshit he did for Thor and them, he was like, oh yeah, let me get this. He over Norway. That probably was some bullshit, right? Yep. I'm just saying, it probably wasn't, but it probably was. The Infinity War was some bullshit, right? Yep. The No Way Home is some bullshit. Like, it's a lot of things. And then now they made What If canon. Yeah. So it's some extra bullshit in that.
So in other realities, he done fucked up.
So we got all these Stranges doing their thing. So that's my thought is like, none of that was ever, No Way Home was just, that's Sony's thing.
Yeah.
But if that was like part one, this was basically an end credit, what we just saw, and Morbius was an end credit basically to No Way Home, because that's actually part of, this is part two. Because oh yeah, he got to deal with what we did in No Way Home. Man. I'm like, no, he dealing with what we did in all the shit.
Yeah.
No Way Home was just some bullshit he did.
Yeah, he been making mistakes. He been fucking up. He been fucking around since the beginning. Since he got the power in his hands, and including in other universes and shit, like he works in other universes. That's the problem. Like all that bullshit. This dude is out of control in every version of himself, and to the point where it's squeezing reality into making it's a multiverse.
But it might not be. This actually might have to answer for that shit,
because they added one. They put one. They was like, oh yeah, by the way,
thing, Manny. I ain't mean to cut you.
No, you good.
I don't even think they will be allowed to do that shit, man.
You shouldn't be right.
For them to have to even keep, like, they cut up, but you can like, somebody threw that out, and that probably was the truth. Kevin went in there and was like, hey man, cut that, man. Come on, man. Y'all got too much dumb shit in there. Y'all actually, like, it might be to the point they was giving away what was happening. Like, I would have seen this and they was giving away what was happening in the damn Multiverse of Madness. Like, come on, man, y'all got too much shit. They told them to take away the Spider-Man. No, they might have had Peter Parker in there, and it was No Way Home, just different shit that they wasn't supposed to do. Like, come on, man, we partners, man. Yeah. Well, we can keep that in, and they're gonna keep a sloppy way, but then it's gonna make sense. Like, that end credit might fucking make sense when we watch Multiverse of Madness, and I'm gonna be salty. I'm gonna do an out the theater reaction, B. I'm gonna pull my fucking phone out and be like, hey, man. What the fuck? Hey, man, fuck was that, alert, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, they just y'all niggas go watch Morbius when y'all come and see this shit.
Right. Man, that'll be shooting them, bro. That'll be doing Sony such a favor, because that makes Morbius canon, not only canon, but that makes it like it's essential to fucking the MCU. Like, what? It's like,
oh, his spell broke. That's how we got a new Iron Man. That's how we got a new Captain America. That's how we got a new Black Panther, because of the shit. You seen what happened to Tombs? That's the same thing that happened for the heroes from the other. Hey, man.
God, bro.
I'm going to be salty.
That has to be, because
I know they're going to have to do that at some point in time. But
you got to do it because it's such a big deal. You telling me that people went to other universes. You can't just say it was just Tombs, because we see that a piece of Venom and shit was left behind. That was in No Way Home, which I'm still scratching my head over. Like, wait a minute.
You got me doing.
How the fuck is something left over?
Man.
Has something left over because
Stephen Grant shit, like
whatever I brought to the universe is supposed to go back with me, right? It ain't like shit. When fucking Jamie Foxx character disappeared, he took all that shit. He took the Stark tech on his chest. Because what's the whole point? That's the whole point of them being cured, right? That's the whole point of them being cured. Because if that's the case, we get deep into it now. If that's the case, then that means that Doc Ock go back to to Toby universe without the thing on the back of his neck. He crazy again. The tech, the Stark tech that fixed him. You telling me I can leave shit behind that I brought with me, but I can take stuff back that was given to me.
He said, "The power of the sun in the palm of my hand with the arc reactor, B." He took that shit.
He took that.
Hey man, that shit might be for real, man.
It has to be, or you wouldn't.
I don't know if that shit probably wasn't happenstance. They probably gave too much away.
It's a meta problem.
I'm gonna need to see some. I gotta see if some YouTube guys, those serious conspiracy, like Frankie probably told them like, "Hey, EA, don't chill."
Yeah,
y'all know
you almost got to do that, right? You gotta like pull rank, like, hey man, hey look, if you ever want a press credential again, if you ever want a kit, because nigga, you got all the pop figures that ain't even came out yet. You want to continue to license your merch for our shit. Do not put out, don't delve into this. Just let it go. We'll figure it out. Because this is a mess, bro, and that nobody's really talking about, right? But it's a mess because they did that little shit. Because you had it, like you said it. I agreed with you. It was the dopest line. It was one of the dopest lines ever. He was like, man, I'm good. You know what? I'm good with the Infinity Saga. And we're good. We don't have to talk about the Infinity Saga no more. But what you did with that Morbius shit, not that it got anything to really do with the Infinity Saga, but it's the fact that No Way Home was good. No Way Home and Spider-Man's story and part of Doctor Strange's fucked up spell was good. Like that was wrapped up. Okay, everybody went back to the Earth. Everybody forget that Peter Parker's Spider-Man. That's wrapped up. We don't got to talk about it no more. But you came back in and opened the whole shit back up and said, "Oh no, but some people got in the wrong universe," just so you can get a possible Sinister Six movie off the ground. But now we got to deal with the MCU because the MCU got a problem now because the spell put people in the wrong universe.
It's the spell that did it.
The spell put people in the wrong universe. So now, because
what if they had
the spell still don't make sense? Because again, I can leave behind stuff, and I can take stuff.
Like, yeah.
So it's holes in there anyway. But
I can go. I'm going back.
We were able to ride with it, right?
Yeah.
Because we like, okay, all right. So now that's how the symbiote gets into the MCU.
Oh, I feel like I've been too naive now, man.
You like? Cool.
I feel like I've been too naive, man.
Yeah. But it's like now we see this and we like, man, you don't open back up the case because like Doctor Strange back on trial now. It's like a nigga getting charges, and it's like the lawyer is like, all right, look, we gonna plea bargain. We're gonna plea bargain, and all the case is gonna be on the one charge. You're gonna do this. This the time you're gonna do, and like you about to take it to the judge, and the judge he about to agree to it, and then somebody come in and be like, yeah, but man, you robbed a bank and didn't give back all the money. So now we got to do all this over again. Now, yeah, we beat all these charges. But now I got to charge you with this now because you didn't put all the money back in the bank or whatever. You know, I'm just stupid.
You got Fed charges, state charge. Like, man, come on, man. I thought the plea was for that.
Yeah, right. You like, but I got a plea bargain. They like, yeah, but this is a separate case in another state. This in another state.
I already plead for the one. I'm guilty as fuck over here, bro.
You like, think about you doing the 3 to 5, like
Think about this, man. See, I let that shit go. Now I'm back. Now I'm locked back in. That's fucked up.
Because they opened it back up.
Doc Ock was dead.
Yeah.
Not only is he going back to some area alive, he's going back without the chip and with an arc reactor.
And 3 tentacles.
And 3.
That work.
One of them and I think they got nanotech in them. And I think they got nanotech in them, right? Did they or they Steve or did he take it back?
Nah,
yeah, he took it back.
That's how he got back control. Yeah.
So Goblin go back alive. You know, and he wasn't corrected. He tried to kill niggas at the end. He's back. Alive.
But when is he coming back?
To get stabbed. Huh?
He gonna still get stabbed. Go ahead.
Oh, you think they're going back to the death moment? So okay, so they're going back to the death moment.
We see now. No Way Home is starting to like.
See, I had to let it go.
Yeah, right.
I let it go.
It was good, right? But it's like
now I'm back.
When you start pulling threads,
because think about the end, because it didn't mean nothing to me, but it means something to me.
A lot of it
when
don't
it was
make
like,
sense.
Okay, some Venom. What if they thing was we're gonna let some Venom stay in the MCU? Because they got to do these deals, bro.
Yeah.
Right. This ain't just like, you know, like oh, we're gonna put Rocket in the Thor movie. Like, no, that's all under the same umbrella.
Yeah.
To do anything from the one, you gotta. So what if the deal was okay? We get some Venom. Right, y'all can put Venom in the MCU. We're gonna Venom's such a big deal, right? That's not saying much, but ultimately we're gonna leave some symbiote in the MCU because it's there.
So we can have
and y'all give us some of this. So they got some of the No Way Home shit, and then then the No Way. So that ain't happenstance that happened. That probably was already in the deal, even though it was a Sony movie. But that whole thing that had happened, right? So then it's like, okay, y'all got some of that, we got some of this. But we did too much when we was doing this. But what does a symbiote still mean now? And like what? So and so I was cool. I didn't even think about it. But no, now that's a thing again. So we looking and then now we got the spell that's fucked up. And I feel like now I'm about to walk into this damn. I'm rambling now, but I feel like I'm about to walk into this damn.
I'm with you though.
I'm about to walk into this damn madness shit. Dealing with that shit.
That's in the back of your head because you like
we ain't gonna never get the fucking House of M because we gotta have a whole part 2 movie of this shit.
Because you put people in the wrong universe. You either gotta ignore it or you gotta like deal with it somehow. You gotta acknowledge it and be like, okay, some people ain't make it back to the universe, and that's just how it is. And none of it is detrimental to the fabric of reality. Maybe you just throw that out there. I mean, but
that portal opening, that spell, that's Marvel Studios, man.
Yeah.
Get what I'm saying? Like y'all got Spider-Man, but that shit is us. We did that so y'all can reset.
That's our spell. Yeah. We did that so that you can
that's our IP. That shit that turned purple. Speaking of purple, that shit that was in the crack, and then it cracked trash. That was a trash
ass crack, B. It was obviously tacked on, man.
I feel like throwing something, man.
It was so fucking haphazardly done, B. Like, how did y'all like again? Did they go you again to your other point? Did they go rogue, man? Because I can't see Feige at all signing off on this.
That's what I hope.
It's so It's so sloppy. It's so fucking sloppy.
Yeah, it's way better than that.
Come on, B. Like
we just went on a whole rant earlier talking about how they're not doing this and Equalizer. One thing they not is sloppy.
Nah, they not sloppy, B. They don't just do sloppy shit. They don't throw shit out there, man. They usually you see something, it means something.
Them niggas is the reason movie theaters is alive right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they not just playing. They not sloppy. They've been doing this for so long now. Yeah, them first few movies might have been sloppy. Like this whole thing with Thanos turning around and you know, to court them is to court death, and him looking into the camera because the original premise was gonna be that they was gonna go with the original source material comic where he snapped everybody out of existence because he in love with death. Yeah, that shit. Like, yeah, they changed that eventually, but they leave that in there because, hey man, it's the first Avengers movie. You can't just even though
you don't really know what's gonna happen.
Even though we went an entirely different direction, we got to leave that in there. That's a part of that history, you know. But this deep in the game, they don't just put shit out there that's not gonna be canon, man. No, they don't do that.
Right?
They cannot do that.
They can do they got that because they got to say they are partners. Do they have it in them to say it's some way between, and they need to let me know before May 5th?
Yeah.
Like, no, that shit not canon. Just like they do with all the other shit. No, that's not canon, bro. That's theirs. You see that crack they did? That was some trash shit. I believe the crack that was in the fucking No Way Home. Like, I was sitting there heart pumping this shit. Like, oh, this shit about to go down.
You see the characters in there looking like ready to come through. Rhino, Chameleon, like, Lady, Madam Web and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
and like walking in, you like, oh, this is where X-Men gonna slide through.
Yeah.
Like, every time you go to some shit like that, like, oh, all the theory talk, like, oh, the X-Men gonna pop through. Fucking Fantastic Four coming through that. Like, they bringing the Black
all them niggas know Spider-Man. Like, that's us before that. He done touched all them balls. Like,
okay, we good. You know, so I'm heart.
This is everybody that knows Peter Parker. Yeah, you like, nigga, well, that's everybody. Shit.
Gangs all here.
Yeah.
Okay, shit, hell yeah, it's about to be on.
Damn, okay. Oh shit.
You know, like
what's the nigga from 2099? Damn, the Spanish niggas. Oh, you niggas is here. God damn, yeah.
You know, like when
if we really want to get in depth, you fuck around, nigga. DC versus Marvel, nigga. You Superman coming through. All them niggas know, bro. First thing Superman did was look through the mask, like, oh, that's a kid under there. It's Peter Parker, nigga.
You know, Bad Snow. That's what I'm saying, man. You know how like when Martin do, when Martin was on Def Comedy Jam and somebody he knew was in the audience, and he just like, oh man, Flavor Flav. Pepper Johnson.
Bro.
It'll be just like that. Like,
Felicia Hardy. Damn. Who was that? Morbius.
Bro.
All them niggas know Spider-Man. That's man.
What's gonna happen. That's my anticipation for that when that thing opened. Because I thought that don't get me wrong, I liked the movie. I thought that was gonna happen. Like that was a level of expectation I had.
Yeah, they was all up there.
Open it up.
Yeah, Craven was up there.
I was deep in the now it made sense that they were going with the Spider-Man people, right? In that, because it's a Spider-Man movie. But I was so deep in the Theory Expo that I had X-Men, I had the new Black Panther. That's how they was gonna bring Captain America back. You know,
all that can be justified.
All that was gonna happen right there.
All that can be. All that
they didn't do it, and that's okay.
Those plausible theories, though. Yeah.
But I was like, oh, that shit. Like, I'm locked in. As soon as the thing opened, I'm like, okay, that's the shape. I see Rhino. Oh, okay, Web, Black Cat, and all them, but shit.
Yeah. Is that Wolverine, nigga? Like,
damn, was he? You know, like all that about to happen. If I'd have synced the thing, oh man, I'd have been done. But like, okay, so now we have that happened, and then you shit on it. You shit on it by that right there, right? Like, and that's my thing. Like, I hope it's Rogue. I hope it was some asshole shit Sony did.
I hope, otherwise we gotta sit through. You're right. We trying to get to the House of M, which I would think would be either WandaVision season 2 or the sequel. You know, like they do indirect sequels.
Yeah. Facts.
It'll be the indirect sequel to Multiverse of Madness.
Facts.
We either gonna get it. It's gonna be one of those two ways. But we can't get to it if we still dealing with the crimes of Doctor Strange. So they either gonna have to ignore this shit, because I think it's too deep in the game for them to really, like you said, to really have a scene. Man, they already had to do reshoots and shit.
And it's only what they had to do that and it's only like 2 hours. Like really, like I said, only 2 hours, but it's a 2-hour 4-minute movie. You can't have all that shit happen. What's the name of trying to get a kids? I mean, I guess they can, but you can't have all that shit happen and then also fucked up because some people in the wrong universe. Like that's why when he's going to see the council, when he's going to see the council, the Illuminati,
they're gonna say something about that. They would,
like that's the thing he's going for because
Superior Iron Man, nigga, he in there like
in a place where you inviting somebody to the show who can hop through multiverses. That you're going to have something in here where it's like you got to deal with the fact that Uncle Ben is still alive because you done moved him from he ain't got to his part. Now he done showed up.
Now there's no Spider-Man.
Venomverse, and it's like,
that's
washing dishes in somebody else's house, like random people too.
Yeah,
like no, come on, man. Like you tell me this Venomverse don't already got an Adrian Toomes? They already got one. It's the fucking Venom. It's the Spider-Verse. They got one.
There gotta be one because
they was doing it in Andrew's situation. They had it.
They had his wings in the Oscorp lab, and they had they had the Sinister Six movie, man.
That was terrible, bro. That was terrible.
It was.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no. Which one? The Morbius shit?
What they just did, man.
That shit was terrible. That shit was irresponsible.
They shouldn't have been allowed to send that shit out, man.
So fucking haphazardly done. That shit was so just nonsense.
Some 90s nonsensical. This shit means too much to people now, man. Like
that you can't just play around with this shit. Yeah,
it's the genre now. It's the reason why you go put a movie in a movie theater now. Hell, it's the reason why you can have a streaming service and all this genre we talking about. The reason why we got to doing this podcast, run shit.
That's it.
Can't do stupid shit like that, man.
Yeah. And you just jump in there and do some shit like that for nothing.
That's some like 90s, 80s type shit they do.
It's not gonna sell the Sinister Six movie because it didn't make any goddamn sense when you got the Owl and Morbius meeting up. Why would they have zero reason to join forces and do good, which undercuts the whole build up for the Sinister Six being anti-heroes. Are they or aren't they good guys or bad guys? When you come out from the jump and say, no, we're gonna do some good. So you never gonna fight Spider-Man? You never gonna be villains?
You know what's fucked up? I ain't even catch that till you just said that. This is the second time you said that. So he's flying around ready to go fight some crime now.
Yeah. They made Owl a anti-hero, which like nobody wanted that. Nobody asked for that, Sony. Nobody's asking for that.
Nigga, if I get a Sinister Six, I need them sinister.
But think about how stupid that is. The whole strategy of that as a studio, right? You're banking on a strategy that's proven to not have worked like 2 years ago or like 4 years ago. Like Suicide Squad just came out and flopped. And that was a remake of the first movie that flopped. So this is a proven. This whole villain being superhero things is proven to not work. When does it work? Am I missing something? Like, because you can't say like I get you if you're trying to make like a team like all right, like Guardians of the Galaxy, but they're not necessarily villains.
No, they're not.
They never were. They are like they do some. They like pirates, but they not villains. It's not this idea of like a team of villains. So they still banking on this old strategy, this outdated strategy though. Oh, no, we're gonna put all the villains together. When all you gotta do is just bring. Now you even had Feige in the MCU and Marvel Studios threw you an alley hoop. Just dunk it. You want to take it through your legs, nigga? They brought Andrew Garfield back for you. Put out Amazing Spider-Man 3, and the villains that he fight will be the Sinister Six. You can even plug in the actors. You can do a new Doc Ock, new Owl, or you can use Toomes.
Bro, you just had a dope ass video game. Like we all, like if you went into the movie. Because you remember I kept talking about like it's like, oh, I got to get this video. I'm so glad I finished that video game. I had that thing for 3 years, and it sat here. I'm so glad I finished that video game before I went and watched the movie because it was shit in there in that.
Yeah, easily. In fact, the promo images was from the game. That shit that they took out, the pose of Spider-Man with murderer sprayed on it, man, that shit was from the game.
Yeah.
They took that from the game. But go ahead. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you.
I played that. We know, like I'm saying, like, oh no, fuck. Why would I even if I'm in the know? Why would I believe Morbius was in that Craven and all of? Nah, bro. I get Vulture, but I need I need a Scorpion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I need all them.
They the muscle. They like the dumb muscle.
And they evil.
They're not good. They're evil. They don't know anything. Yeah. Chameleon.
I need them.
The brains of the operation. Part of the, him and Al.
I need them.
Him, Al, and Ock. That's the brains of the Sinister Six. Like, you had this set up.
Yeah, I don't know what they thought.
But you want to, right? Yeah, like they hanging on to this idea that no, we're going to use it and they're going to be the heroes. Then what is Spider-Man doing? And who is Spider-Man fighting? Who are the Sinister Six? Who's the villain?
What made them think, yeah, that's right. Like, okay, cool, anti-hero and all this and all that, but like, I don't, like you said, I don't even know where that's a successful. The best sometimes villains is the ones that I get when people like they got a soul and you could grab a hold to like a Thanos. But they thought they was right. They really wasn't anti, but they thought they was right. You may want to describe him as an anti-hero. Hell, even first Loki, but my man right here, this dude is dope. This damn hero, he dope. I hope they don't shit on him.
I like this dude. Yeah, they
think he right.
You think he right? He has a vision,
right? But he doing what he need to do, right? Like he's evil. He's not an anti-hero.
Yeah,
he just think he right. Like I don't want to see, like Morbius, and that's why it's probably always going to be tough with those guys. And yeah, they got some success with Venom, right? And he plays that kind of role, walks that line. But it's the reason why when we sit here and we see Venom, like, oh, Venom and Spider-Man, like we still waiting to get to that point. Right? We waiting to get to that point. Like we know that at some point in time, that path got to cross.
Yeah.
Not as a buddy cop thing.
Right. Which they
you know what I'm saying?
They kind of they kind of stuck to that now, though. But yeah. It's like it only makes sense for Eddie Brock to hate Peter Parker now. It's like, but that's cool, whatever. You can kind of, but this Sinister Six shit, man, they gotta figure this out, man. They want to, they so behind. They want to do a team up. They want to build up a universe. They just want to follow Marvel, like they want to build up a universe and then do a team up. That's what everybody want to do. That's what Snyder tried to do. What DC tried to do. That's what Sony like. Okay, we own all the Spider-Man characters. We need a team up movie, and we can't really use Spider-Man Peter Parker. So what do? We're going to turn the villains of Peter Parker, which we own and nobody else is doing anything with, and they're going to have a team up movie. But it's like, man, it's already outdated now. It's already the moment is already passed for that. Nobody's even checking for shit like that no more.
No.
People like, especially after No Way Home, like, okay, because he cured them, but they're done. They don't have powers no more.
Yeah.
None of them have, like, Doc Ock, the only one that still got the arms. He ain't gonna be a hero, man. He gonna go somewhere and he gonna be a scientist. He gonna take the arms off. He not crazy no more. He'll be like, I'm done. You know what I mean? We got the reactor out of the ocean. I'm good. I'll take the arms off. They're not stuck to him.
No.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
They wanted to stay because they had control.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, I'm done. Electro. He's just nigga that look like Jamie Foxx now. Oscorp. Osborn. Osborn was an asshole before he was Green Goblin. He was a shark, man. He was a businessman, a tycoon, tough on his son and shit.
Yeah.
He gonna go do that. He's like, I'm gonna go build shit and make more billions of dollars. The Connors. He's a scientist. Like, they're done. So why would you now pull those characters and you're not going to even use the same actors? Now you got to pull different characters and make another. It's another Sinister Six. It's like Sony, man. Come on, man. But that shit, you're right, man. That shit was terrible. Yeah, that shit was irresponsible.
Yeah, I'm pissed off now.
And you fucked up the MCU a little bit. You fucked up Doctor Strange right on the cusp of basically his Avengers movie.
They gotta come out and be like, which is shitty, on your opening week could fucking hurt your money.
Hey, by the way, that's not yeah, right. That's not
and
canon.
Be like, oh yeah, I know y'all think that shit not canon.
That's not canon. That
like you get what I'm saying, because they are partners, right? Like
that happened in their universe. That didn't affect. Yeah, only Tombs was displaced. You got to say that, or else you got to explain it. You got to say, yeah, Tombs.
Oh, because
Tombs was displaced because he knew about. It's like it don't even make sense. But the spell fucked up. Because we don't know who went where. Like, a lot of people knew Peter Parker.
100%.
Now,
what about any of Aunt May's that's still alive?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Now,
but she didn't know. A lot of time, maybe she didn't know she was Spider-Man. I guess you got to look at it.
Now, this is what they can do with this. If you Marvel, you could be somewhere like, all right, you know what, y'all try to get us, right? Okay, I'll tell you what then. This is how you dig even deeper into the Sony's, into their catalog of Spider-Man, right? Because they got all the Spider-Man. They own all the rights to any Spider-Man that come out. So if it's a 2099 movie, they own that. If it's a Iron Spider, they own, like, whatever. So now you say, all right, look, we know this Miles Morales live action movie got to come at some point. We got the animated one, and that shit hit. That shit was a hit. But we know Sony, we know Marvel, MCU, we know Marvel Studios has got to be looking like Holland's not going to last forever. You want to know what Holland eventually going to get older. He might retire from acting. Him and Zendaya, they got kids, whatever you want to do. But he already stated, like, man, I don't want to do this shit forever. They know that. And he can't do it forever. He can't be Spider-Man forever. What they can do is be like, all right, you know what? Yeah, people did get displaced. Yep, Tombs got put in that universe, but guess what? Damn, who is this? It's a new Spider-Man. Wait a minute, it's two Spider-Man. And he got a black and red suit. Who the fuck is that? Oh, wait a minute. Tom Holland Spider-Man. Heroic death. Dies webbing the last bomb of something, whatever. He dead. He on his deathbed. It's your turn. I'm not even supposed to be here. No, you gotta listen. You here for a reason. I'm not even supposed to be in this universe. I'm not even supposed to be in this universe. I know, but it must. This is why you're here. Tom Holland. He passes the mantle to Miles Morales, who's from another universe. Now, MCU, they got their Black Spider-Man, which they're gonna let rock. Feige, super liberal. He like, hell yeah, I'll take a Black Spider-Man. And who can make it work better than him? So now we get Miles Morales. We take some young, up-and-coming actor who 21, 22 years old now. Man, we milk him for the next 5 movies. 10 years, 5 movies. We got Miles Morales in the MCU. Just like that.
You know how dope that is? Because Miles Morales already slapped.
He already slapped.
You get what I'm saying?
And he only can get better. Like,
they ain't even got a bait and switch for that one. Like trying to get a Black Superman. It's like, Miles Morales, that dude.
Yeah.
And they was looking to do that already. I think they were talking about Will Smith's son. I'm glad, and I hope it ain't gonna be him. But they've been like,
oh yeah, please don't.
People are dishing it because they know it's a Miles Morales project about to happen, and it was no ways because they was talking about not Willow. I'm calling Willow, but Jaden. Yeah. Jaden is trying to get in superhero shape because he's looking to do something big with Marvel Studios. So doubt that now.
I mean, they got it, but that you can't go no other way because unless you recast the Peter you recast Peter Parker, but it's like, man, come on.
And they laid that in the episode in the first one, right? Because they named the uncle.
The uncle was in the first one.
Yeah, the uncle was in the first one. So it was already kind of like, say, just watering it a little bit, planting seed, water, because that's coming. And Miles, like you say, they already got their way that they think, and then like, oh, we would love to do that. But then the second part is Miles already dope, right?
Right.
Miles already dope. So that's like both, right, for them.
Yeah, and I think
they want to do things like that, and it's okay because people accept Miles.
Yeah, exactly. So you got a built-in crowd, a built-in audience and fans for Miles. You got some Miles detractors, of course. You know what I mean? We talked about it too. Like, man, Miles is Miles Morales. He's not Spider-Man.
He's not Spider-Man.
Peter Parker's Spider-Man. I can either call him Peter Parker or I'm gonna call him Spider-Man. Miles Morales is always Miles Morales. If I see Miles Morales swinging through New York or Harlem, damn, man, look at Miles Morales, man. Damn, Miles. Yeah, Miles, you on 125th like that, B? They like, how you know that's Miles Morales? I mean, that's Miles, bro.
That's Miles, B.
Not a Spider-Man. No. That's Miles.
Yeah.
That's Miles Morales. He's not Spider-Man. He's wearing a Spider-Man costume, but he's Miles Morales. That's what we know him as. Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Cool. I think he gets better though with every shit. Fuck. I think he gets better with every adaptation. You know what I mean? If you go like you said, you see the popularity of the animated movie. Now you get a live action version of him. Good.
The game dropped perfect because that was when the PlayStation dropped. You know what I'm saying? Like if you watch any YouTuber video when they were showing like how the OLED slap. Oh, look at the gameplay. What game would they always have on?
They set him up. Yeah, they set him up nice.
Miles.
That's
they laid him out.
Yeah, you gotta set him up. You gotta set him up. And they're gonna do that, like you said, either way. They're gonna do it. That theory I threw out, that's like a fringe wing theory, but the way of just he already there.
Yeah.
And enough time has passed now. He there. Like he waiting somewhere. They gotta pull a trigger on him. Disney gotta give him, and that's probably why we not seeing fucking Miles Morales live action movie yet coming from Sony, because they like, yeah, we already got you set up for when Holland decide to retire or move on. Like, just you activate your Miles Morales that you already, because they just followed. All you gotta do is just follow the storyline of Ultimate Spider-Man, and Peter Parker dies, and you gotta, Miles Morales take over, and you can even bring Peter Parker back from another universe if you ever need him. So. But yeah, say all that to say, man, that shit was
that was some bullshit. We actually got some good content out of that, because that was some bullshit they did, man.
We got another hour out of that shit, man.
Because I walked out of that bitch like I never gonna talk to anyone about this.
No, it was
because it was shitty, because the movie wasn't trash.
Nah.
It wasn't. They could have stuck the land on some better parts, and like you said, they could have actually. It's a movie they could have beefed up a little bit with with something. They never got back to the little girl who was in the coma. Like it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like she was in the coma, and they didn't kind of go back to. I'm saying they needed to go back to that story, but they kind of just let that go, moved on to the next scene. What Pitch say? Each scene is a clean slate, so a lot of that kind of stuff happened. But okay, I got the point. I wasn't even mad about the whole bat. I'll get it. I didn't know how he knew how to do the bat thing to get them all to go at the other guy, but he knew how to do it.
You know how to
get what I'm saying?
Again,
he knew how to do it.
We left without a lot of. You're right. Go ahead. My bad.
He knew how to do it. It's okay. It's a movie, man. Sometimes you can't overthink them shits. Even though with this genre, you kind of, bro, I know as much. It's like I could look at a writer and be like, no, I know as much as you do. So you got to do. I hold you to a high standard when it comes to this shit. I say all that to say this. Okay, it ended, and I was like, oh, and I'm sitting here like, ooh, I can't wait to this end credit, because I keep hearing about this shit. And then I was sitting there, and as soon as I saw and they did it like, I didn't even get a chance to blink from the point where I'm like, yo, I know
it's like a two-parter, right?
Yeah. When that first one came up, and it was like, I know that skyline, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, and then like it didn't even give me a chance to blink to be like, oh, that's the fucking crack. And I was like, oh, what? What? Did you see that? Oh, I hope the food is nice here.
Which, oh, man, so stupid.
And my headphones about to wear out. It's almost time for us to be done.
So, yeah, it told you what, battery low?
Yeah, I think I'm at 3%. I'm into one headphone. Damn. But let me throw this in real quick.
Nah, but like you said, man, what's crazy is like that movie, for all the shit that was cut, you would think a movie like Eternals that had 2.5 hours or whatever the fuck it was, long as hell.
I think it's still
managed to have things that had no context to them, like scenes that had no context. But I ain't gonna go down the Eternals road. But
one time we're gonna do we're gonna have a little series where we do like a re-review.
We're gonna do retrospective.
I'm actually looking forward to that, man.
Like we'll have a retrospective on Eternals,
like
especially with the MCU. Yeah,
we might go the MCU route.
A lot of them shits need to be re-reviewed and shit. So
re-rated.
Yeah, re-rated. But yeah, man, this was again I'm about to get off, but I was left with the question: is this the worst post cred ever, man?
Oh, and usually post cred slap.
They slap,
right?
And they've been especially
recently
with this particular studio. Even the I mean, be honest, even the original Venom movie slapped with there's going to be carnage.
Yeah, that slapped.
And shit came out, and then that post credit was, man.
Yeah, between those two.
Who was that guy on the TV? That to me, I'm not even joking, nigga. That's my favorite. That's my favorite post credit scene I think ever. I'm being honest. That shit that they did at the end of Venom.
That shit was stupid.
That was my favorite post credit scene ever, man. Because
go ahead, my bad.
Just the sequence of events, man.
And I saw that during the day. Usually, as hyped as I was, that should have been at night. You get what I'm saying? Like I walked out of that, it was still daytime. I'm like, fuck. I was because No Way Home coming.
That shit was live, bro. They showed Peter on TV. He like looking like, and it's him clearly with no mask on
between them two, and it's like,
I'm like, yes. Even though it didn't pay off at all.
It didn't pay off at all. But like, it was incredible.
Just the thought of it was like, yeah. I mean, it did kind of pay off because the symbiote is now. It's gonna get Holland, like it's gonna touch.
Look at it like when you could look at it from that level.
Yeah, like Venom gonna be there eventually because they got to deal with that, bro. He got to get a piece. He got to get his symbiote back because whenever a new symbiote comes up, that's when Venom. I mean, the last two movies, the whole Venom movies are about him fighting other symbiotes.
Facts.
So he's gonna jump to it, and then, like you said, obviously the hive mind of the Venom symbiotes, they transcend realities. So he's gonna go to that. He's gonna find a way back. I don't know how he's gonna do that, but he's gonna find a way back to this reality to deal with this rogue symbiote that Spider-Man got.
It's gonna be in man.
Something, man. Yes,
hope it's not, saying, bro. But it's gonna be in that because they got to deal with it. Hold on, man.
Yeah.
The thing is about them end credit rankings. It's shitty because to do the ranking right, because like some of them got better once you able to connect the dot. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you get what I'm saying? Like so, it's like, oh no, that one stick out to me. But it's like, oh, because I know 4, 5, and 6 that happened after that, right? Like we talked about the Thor one. I'm not gonna rank it, but like that Thor one, Dark World, it was just an end credit.
Yeah,
you actually get to the end, like, oh the shit, that fuck.
Which one had the twins in it? Because that shit, now looking back, that was Winter
Soldier. That was the Winter Soldier one.
That shit
That
slaps
was the one I
now,
was
B.
thinking about. Like that's what made me say
For
the
that one
comment.
to
Like
be you for the
when you think about it, that's an incredible end credit scene. I don't know how hyped I was at the time, but now that I know, I could. If I think back in my mind,
I
I
was
was
hyped.
super hyped. I knew I was
Especially
hyped.
when you saw Wanda like
Yeah,
crush the cube, you know, at the end, like with the chaos magic, you like, oh, that's Wanda. You knew like that's Scarlet Witch right there. And at the time, you was kind of thinking like, fuck, mutants, nigga.
Yeah.
Mutants are in the MCU now. But then to come to find out the very next episode or movie, nah, they just what was they called? Enhanced. It was like, okay. But then now we going back now, we like, okay, they probably are mutants.
Yeah, but once it really, you know, when they really get it, it's like, oh yeah, it's new. That was the person. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a really good one. It's hard for me to think about that. I mean, I'm not. We about to get off, but in trying to think about that one, if I could give you a legit, because that's an incredible end credit, and then I try to think about how I felt walking out. You get what I'm saying? Like, how did I feel when it was over? And
that Avengers slap.
It's tougher to get, but it's tougher to get better than that Venom was. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that one.
Just for the
when I
possible,
walked out,
the like, implications of that shit. Because you knew No Way Home. No Way Home. You knew it was coming, but to see, because that's like one of my Venom versus Spider-Man is like one of my best, like my favorite. I said best, one of my favorite like rivalries, you know. And to finally be like, all right, we about to get the proper face off, you know what I mean? Because he, you know, they gonna be in it. They was for that short amount of time, they was in the same universe. They never got the,
another dope one.
Venom stayed in the damn hotel the whole time. And never went to New York to actually meet Otis. Like,
dumbass. You know, another dope one, but I think it went with the rhythm of the movie, and it definitely didn't pay off. But at the time, the one after Infinity War where they introduced Captain Marvel, just because of what all had just happened, everybody got snapped. Nick Fury, Nick Fury,
right,
you know, mother, and that shit dropped
at the time.
And I'm trying to think, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck. The theater I was in, fucking erupted.
Oh yeah, same thing. I think that was everywhere. When we was in the theater, people clapped.
I gotta see if there's a, you know, they do the the reaction of that. That's the only
that was huge.
I remember sitting in that theater, and when that happened, and then that pager, when you know the two-way, and then the shit came up, I was surprised how many people got excited. Get what I'm saying? Because it was Captain Marvel, right? But like, just the whole people, right.
That's what I mean about That's what I mean about when you bring somebody to live action. It's just it slapped different, man. Like, because she's not the most. She kind of a divisive character in the comics, but just getting that confirmation that she about to be in live action, it was like, man, niggas was hyped. And I ain't never been the biggest Captain Marvel fan. But knowing that we was finally getting the live action version, it's like,
when that happened, so that's how I try to equate it. Like if you did a full ranking, I'm sure people wouldn't really have that one high. But when I left Venom, when I left Infinity War, because it was like you could kind of guess after a while, you could start kind of guessing the Wanda one. You couldn't guess that one. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That came out of nowhere. But it's like the ones that's like, what? Huh? What the? We doing that? Like the ones like that where it's like that. I think that one. I think the Captain Marvel one, the Venom one. Those are the ones you just walk out and you like, I can't believe they just did that shit. Those are the ones if I had to start ranking, I would rank them that way. I would try not to put the ones in where it's like, because of what I know now, that one got better.
Yeah.
Right. I saw Avengers. So maybe so that's a hard one to get because that first Nick Fury one was pretty fucking dope too. So like even though it led up to so that one gotta be there, right?
That's up there too. Man, when he walked in there, bro, that fucking Incredible Hulk Because I think that's when he walked.
When Tony was in.
Yeah, man. When you seen Robert Downey Jr. and it was clearly Tony Stark.
And it was clearly Tony Stark.
He was like, man, this is it, bro. We here, man. That was like childhood dream shit. Because you knew it was about to go down. You knew, like, we here. We about to get all these movies and they all gonna be connected, and we're gonna have the Avengers. We'll have an Avengers live action movie one day. And it took some time, you know what I mean? We had to sit through Captain America, the first Avenger, and them 2 Iron Man movies. And
2 Iron Mans.
Which that second one was, oh man, that I fell down in my rankings.
And that's one of the ones that when you go back, I love that in the beginning, but I'm like, I can't believe I like that shit that much.
Oh my God.
Like when you go back, then you're like, damn, I really did like that. Like this.
First one was good, but the second one was like, why did y'all even make this?
Yeah, that was definitely a commercial. It was definitely a commercial, but
Thor was cool, you know what I mean? But we had to sit through that, man.
But with that first, like you say, because the next end credit was basically because they went and we got
Iron Man didn't have any, right?
Iron Man had Nick Fury.
Oh shit!
The first Iron Man had Nick Fury. The second Iron Man had Thor.
Damn.
Yeah. Second Iron Man had Thor.
Damn. I forget about.
It went Iron Man, then Iron Man 2 and Thor. Then it went Hulk, and they dropped Tony Stark in it. With Thunderbolt.
Them early days was fucked.
Then they came back.
Early days was off the chains, bro.
They came back with Thor. But the Tesseract came at the end with Loki with my man Selvig. Like,
damn,
lead into that. And then the fifth one was then it was Captain America, but they were showing actual clip from the Avengers movie when he was punching the punching bags. Like, you knew it was on then. Like, it was really on. But that rollout, that's a mean end credit rollout. That's what so we gonna start doing the rankings. You had to be there.
Yeah,
was you outside when Tony showed up in that bar with Thunderbolt Ross? Was you outside when that hammer showed up? And that's all you needed with my man, what's my guy? Coulson.
Because you couldn't deny that shit. Like, you couldn't deny the further you got along, the further you could be like, man, nigga, whatever. You know what I mean? But you couldn't deny them first ones. You was like, I'm seeing Thor coming out. I'm seeing it.
Oh, yeah, they laid it out.
Nigga, that's Mjolnir is right there. I'm seeing Thor's coming out, and I'm seeing it when it come out. You couldn't deny that shit. Yeah, like you was like, oh no, that's next. Okay, bet.
Then they had like
Tony show up
when he showed up in the Hulk. Yeah,
you like
you didn't expect that one neither.
Yeah, I'm seeing
Thunderbolt was done like Tony show up like
because boy, Thunderbolt, they put him through it, boy. That's he gone, man.
They ain't even get to pay that off.
Yeah, they gonna have to figure out something, but
it's probably gonna be a man, not to disrespect him, but like you say, like it's a way to bring him back after the shit they just did in Morbius.
Yep. Yeah, they're gonna
have to do it. They were setting it up, so they got a lot of shit going on with the MCU right now, bro. We got to go. They got a lot of shit going on. Like when you asked me that question earlier, why I think they're going, like, hey man, I guess they got to go a lot of ways because they're trying to have the movie and they're trying to have the they got to get out of it, maybe trying to have this Disney Plus thing going, and they got to get out of this shit where they doing a 6-episode run, but you don't get shit else for another 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't signing up for that shit just so I can watch the movies that I probably already had the fucking Blu-ray of. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they got to have it where they have it more than just, okay, I'm watching my guy right now, and then I call him 3 months. I gotta wait to Miss Marvel if I'm into that. You get what I'm saying? Like, but I got a 2-3 month break before that come on, and then a 2-3 month like, nah, you got all. What are you got you doing Thunderbolts? You doing. Like you used to do 4 movies a year. I'm getting 4 TV shows a year.
And Thunderbolts look.
They had that set up.
Oh, already, bro. I'm sold off Thunderbolts. Yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, are they going that route too? I guess it makes sense because they have to put content because it's what they call it, the streaming wars.
Yeah, content.
So they may have like 4 or 5 like venues, the Midnight, Thunderbolts, fucking. Supernatural realm, you know what I'm saying? And they got the cosmic side, like different things that they're, hey man, lay that shit out because they can probably doing them all because they gonna have to get. Hey, bro, all roads lead to Secret Wars at some point in time. So you're gonna have to have them all. They probably fuck around and do Doom in this series because it's looking like it. All roads lead to it, and you can't. People, I know they were saying earlier, like, man, that's like like, nah, they put that shit out. That's not 10 years. That's a couple series, a couple movies. It's like 5.
Yeah,
You
nah, that shit coming.
All
And
roads
then
lead to, unless you're doing you can't even do a Avengers disassemble because half your roster dead. You get what I'm saying?
Avengers are pretty much done, right? Like we've kind of like moved on, like they, the core team is gone.
It's over.
You know, once you lost big 3, nah, we're not gonna play this game where y'all, you throw Rhodey up in there, and then you throw Falcon up in there, and then you throw. Nah, we're not doing that. We're not gonna do that. The Avengers are, you know, it's different now. You just, like you said, Secret Wars, and maybe we do another Civil War somehow. I mean, it was 2 comic book Civil Wars, but the second one. But nah.
So we're gonna see, man.
Fantastic Four and X-Men are gonna carry the team, and then they're gonna, they'll team up eventually.
Yeah, they got. I just feel like all roads lead to that, so you got to start. So it's their opportunity. Like, it's just, I think there's so many ways that they're going right now, but I think they kind of have to, because they got to have content. Yeah, you got to have content. Like, you know, you got to. This is great, and it's probably gonna be their vehicle. So I don't think you and I right now, we saw a whole cinematic universe that follow one theme the whole way through. Like, that's it's amazing how they, not amazing, but it's like, it's unbelievable how they got to that point when at pretty much about Thor Dark World, we knew now for real we were in we were in Infinity Saga. Like, they laid it out for us. They simplified. Even they made their own, and they made their own rules to get to that point. Like you say, that wasn't 100%. It wasn't really comic line. Like, they turned shit into stones. There was never stones. But you know, it's movies, right? I say all that to say this: we knew from then that it's going to get to that end game.
Yep.
We don't know shit now.
Now we in uncharted territory. We know. I mean, like you said, all roads lead to Secret Wars, but we don't know what the end game is.
We don't even
like. We got an idea that Kang. For all we know, Kang is just he ends in the quantum. He ends in
might be done.
Ant-Man 3 might be it. That's the only movie that he's starring in, right? That's the only movie he's scheduled to star in.
They got the thing that he really in this, and this like Doctor Strange.
Yeah, we don't know that yet. So he gonna be in Loki season 2 whenever we get that. But we really don't know, man. Like, we don't know who the end game character is. I don't think it's gonna be Kang.
It's not Kang.
Celestials. Could it be Galactus? We get Galactus, we got to get the Fantastic Four first. So it's like, well, yeah, you're right, man. We don't know where we're going. We really don't know. We just kind of watching this content, watching these little feeder shows, and they feed to the bigger movies. And
you know, it's crazy that fucking Morbius took us there. He just took us there.
He did.
That's what fucked up end credits do. Like, come on, man, don't even make sense. You took us there. You got us talking about. I love the conversation. Don't get me wrong. We do this shit all the time.
Right.
I love the conversation, but it's like, now we got to wonder what happens next, because you put a trash ass.
Yeah, you
redid the damn No Way Home.
Ended the entire. Yeah, you disregarded the entire, like, the rules of how they do this shit for a fucking movie that's never gonna probably come out. Sinister 6 probably never gonna come out, and if it do, it's gonna probably flop.
Yeah, because it's like, you have to do that. Like, you have to do it with, like, because they can never really just do something on their own. And I think that's where they always going to be hindered when it comes to the Sinister Six, unless you involve them with the all Marvel, if you're able to consolidate all Marvel, because you can only, right now, in their universe, you can only have them fight Spider-Man. Right?
Who
there's not another.
You would have to prop up some lesser known Spider-Man property that you own. Spider-Man villain that you own. Who is that going to be? Who would be powerful enough for the Sinister Six to take on?
Yeah, you can have a movie with two of them, or you know what I'm saying, with this other hero, and then such and such would have. Maybe that's what they was trying to do with these damn
maybe you get an evil
anti-heroes.
Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
You
It's
know,
like,
yeah, you got to have more. That you going like you say, well, this is Spider-Man, such and such, and this
that'd
such
be
as, and it's like,
such
well,
a
you only
terrible
got
mistake.
Spider-Man. You got to have a whole Marvel, got to have the whole Marvel roster to get into the part where you want to have, because that's even kind of like they had to have 3 Spider-Man to deal with who they had to deal with. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
They had to they had to dig deep into their Spider-Man bag to be able to go against Ock, go against Gob, go against.
You telling me one Spider-Man can do that? Yeah, can
against 6 cats.
Fam, this dude, this version of Peter Parker. But this go again. This is to start another conversation. This goes deeper into why this a weak ass Peter Parker compared to the other Peter Parkers, but he couldn't even deal with the Sinister Six on his own. You know, he had to get two other Spider-Man. So you telling me it's somebody out here who got more skills than all 3 of these Spider-Man? Who you got this mega Spider-Man out there who's just like, nah. Now, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess it's the Sony Spider-Man because he was doing it in the game. He had no help.
Yeah, he was nice.
Got no help. Like Miles wasn't even ready yet. That nigga took you as the he beat the Sinister Six, B. You know what I mean? That was a pretty good Sinister Six. It was a pretty good version of the Sinister Six.
You know how fucking accomplished I felt. I can't remember the last time I felt so accomplished, man. Like I think the hardest one for me, pause, was shit. I had a problem. I didn't have that much of a problem with the final boss. It was guys in between. Even when I had to go against the Vulture and Shocker at the same time, right?
Yeah,
I smacked them up. I mean, it took some work, but I think that whole scene was tough because it wasn't just. It was you had to get through the jail, you had to get through and then it was different parts. But it was somebody. I know the first guy gave, but it was early, right? The bank when I was in the bank. Which one was that? Was that Scorpion?
That was Kingpin. You talking about
Kingpin gave me problems.
Oh yeah.
Kingpin gave me problems.
Kingpin was fucking he was giving you that work, man, in the beginning because you be falling through shit.
Kingpin he run at you.
Damn,
Kingpin gave me problems.
Charge at you and shit,
My God, in the bank. That was Scorpion, right?
I think so. Yeah, it's been a minute since I played through it.
I think Scorpion gave me problems. I was cool with. I mean, it took some work to beat the Vulture and them both.
Damn.
But there's one other person that I had to go against that gave me work. I was like, oh fuck, because there's 6 of them, right?
Yeah.
Was, the final boss was Ock.
That was the Negative Man, right?
Yeah, he was
that motherfucker was a problem.
He
man.
was that's the way he was.
Because
Miles had to try to find his moms and all that.
Yeah.
Hey, man, Negative Man was a problem. Because then you had to get the helicopter when it was going down. Was that the one where you had to get the helicopter?
Yeah.
Right? The shit
Yeah. Oh, well, you got to hit the triggers.
You got to hit the triggers.
Yeah, nigga. That shit was, Damn, that's a great game.
Right, he did do it.
Let's talk about one of the greatest games ever, man.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about a game that had so much fucking hype when they announced it and then lived up to all of it?
Delivered.
Fam. And now we get Venom and Carnage in the next one. You know they about to be a problem. They already got Spider-Man with the arms and shit coming out of his costume.
Oh, Carnage in the next one too? I didn't even know that. I knew Venom was in it, but I thought it was Spider-Man and Miles.
Yeah.
And they got Venom and Carnage. I didn't even know that. I mean,
I think so. Because
I didn't know that.
Because the whole man, we gotta pull up the trailer, man. Can we pull up videos yet?
Let's see.
Don't even do it, bro.
I could
fuck around, get claimed or something, man. Nah, because you try to post this shit, we get claimed. No, don't do it. I gotta jump off, man. But yeah, damn. I tell you what, bro. So you want to do three Expo tomorrow?
Yeah.
Can you go early?
Yeah.
What's your morning looking like?
Shit, I'm looking at my
Yeah, let's find a slot in the morning, man. Cause I got
what work for you? You got
Shit. Anytime. So for me, for you, it'd be 10 o'clock. Because
Oh, 10
I
perfect. 10
yeah.
perfect.
So from 10 to whatever you want to do.
I'm usually super dope up until 11. Because I work on because I got the West Coast, right? All my people's on the West Coast, so usually my meetings don't start until like that's when they really get busy, like 11 and stuff.
Yeah.
I even have like booked out time on my calendar. Like, don't
I'll
mess with
leave the
me.
setup in here. Yeah, we can jump back in here and just try
So
to
I'm usually
go
this
as far
spot
as we can.
right now, where you see me right now, from 8 until you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
From 8, I'm right here. At 9 o'clock, I'm right here. 10 o'clock, I'm right here. So it's usually like 11, maybe sometimes 10:30, but usually 11. So I'm good any day. Probably up until that, and then I can, if we needed to, but usually, like I said, that sounds safe up to 11. If we really need to hop on stuff, like, hey man, you see this trailer? Hey man, if you get a chance, it's log on. You can knock out a quick 10 minutes, but I'm good up to 11, and then obviously at night.
All right, bet. All right, man.
I'll be sitting right in this same spot. Only difference is first take will be on or something.
Yeah. All right.
But shit, we'll get it together tomorrow.
All right, B. Yeah, let's do that. All right.
Yep.
Peace.